from truly reaching triumph. I'm destined for greatness because I imagine that. My skin light, but baby, I am blacker than black. I got a mean code switch voice for work type black. I'm so black that my pale teacher called me a nigga in the middle of class, and I just sat back and laughed because that word don't make me boo. It makes you miserable. Don't gotta go to the circus to know it's clowns in there. Honeybee, you deserve all you desire. So fly away, black butterfly, to what you admire. Only you can hinder you from truly reaching triumph. I'm destined for greatness because I imagine that. My skin light, but baby, I am blacker than black. I got a mean code switch voice for work type black. I'm so black that my pale teacher called me a nigga in the middle of class, and I just sat back and laughed because that word don't make me boo. It makes you miserable. Don't gotta go to the circus to know it's clowns in there. Honeybee, you deserve all you desire. So fly away, black butterfly, to what you admire.
Rich Rise, beautiful people. I am up here running the show until my sister gets herself settled in. Oh, we've got the army of Victor Moan in the building. Rich Rise to you. We've got the beautiful lady Steele. We was hollering for you the other night, ma'am. We was hollering for you the other night. Thank you guys for being here this rising. Today is a day that we have all been waiting for. Well, maybe not y'all, but I know me. Um, and in the sense of Mr. Eligio Bishop, he is about to walk into that courtroom in the next 10 minutes. And his life is going to be in the citizens of DeKalb County's hands. I hope they're concerned as we are over here. Rich Rise 504, our moderator in the chat. So yesterday, maybe you watched it, maybe you didn't. If you were an OG of the Nature Boy sector, you were glued to your device yesterday. Yesterday was jury selection for Nature Boy Eligio, aka Three God. And to me, we're just gonna hop on into kind of seeing what we saw yesterday. Rich Rise, average Joe number one, Rich Rise. So yesterday was the jury selection. And for right now, the only camera that is allowed or was streaming yesterday was from 11 Alive. Now, many of you may remember when 11 Alive did that interview with Velvet when, Eligio first got locked up and she was on, here we go, 6 waiting. I'm sorry. I'm over here looking, making sure that they have the live scheduled, and they do. So good. But yesterday, Eligio wore all black, which is very interesting. If you are in the law side of YouTube, or if you're in true crime, court crime, those types of things. I'm gonna have to close my window. Is very interesting. Rich Rise, oh Sonya May, a Rich Rise, baby girl. Which was very interesting that Eligio wore black yesterday. Now we know the Three God demeanor, right, is all black with the cat nails and the gold, the pimp. But it was very interesting that his lawyer allowed him to dress in the persona that he got locked up in, right? It's very interesting that he chose the attire that he chose. It's very interesting that the Three Blind Mice came in and chose the attire that they chose. Now, without getting to, because I know a lot of people went and actually went to the courthouse, and a lot of people, were, like I said earlier, was glued to the stream. So many of you probably witnessed the selection yesterday, and the selection yesterday was very interesting. It gives you an insight on what what the prosecution and what the defense is ultimately going to argue throughout this case. That's what jury selection mainly teaches you. And it also teaches you who is going to sit here and judge Mr. Eligio Bishop. What um, demographic of this county is going to be here placing judgment on this man. And yesterday, it was interesting to hear some of the questions that were brought forth. One of the questions when they asked, and this is a giggle question for me, they asked the polled audience, how many of you have ever heard of, know of, watched Eligio Nature Boy before? He sat there, he said, no response, noted. And I screamed because Nature Boy Eligio likes to paint this picture, or wanted us to believe that, he was this celebrity. Everyone knew him. He was a household name. And to watch 50 people not raise their hand because they had no idea. Now 50 people is a small pool, but to see 50 people say, "Yeah, no, I don't know this man. Never seen him before, never heard of him before. I don't know who a Nature Boy Carbonation Melanation is." And that kind of, even though I giggled, just because it kind of, rubbed his ego the wrong way, it made me kind of like, well, we did something right. Okay. We did something right. Because if 50 people can sit there and not one of them say they know who or what he is, and of course they could have lied, right? But again, it means that we blocked some households from getting Nature Boy carbonation um, in. We were able to block some. I'm watching it again though, because I think some of the people in the and I'm going off of Osun's comment. I think some of the people in the jury did actually know or have heard of him. A lot of them said, "Well, I seen the 11 Alive news clip of, jury duty for this person today." Rich Rise, Shribad, Rich Rise, Miss Stacy, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're about to get started in 5 minutes. Um, so I think a lot of people may have, fabricated their truths on that specific question. But another question that was asked was, do you or anyone you know ever been a victim of sexual assault? And I think over half of the 50 raised their cards. And that was a disheartening moment um, for the audience, for the courtroom, and for Eligio, right? Because it allowed Eligio to sit, because he was facing the jurors, and it allowed him to see how many people have been victims of this same crime or a similar crime. Um, and then when they went to, individually ask, was it you or someone you know? A lot of it was someone they know, but we did have some in the jury box that were the victim themselves. And then another question was, do you or anyone you know ever been a crime of revenge porn? And that was a bigger number than what I thought it would be, but it still wasn't as overwhelming as the sexual assault question. But what was interesting is there was a lady who sorry, I got my coffee. I hope y'all got y'all coffee too, y'all snacks, whatever it is y'all gonna need this rising, because we gonna be here for a while this morning. Um, but there was a lady in there who said she had one of her really good male friends. My co-host, my host is here. Um, and she said that one of her really good guy friends is going through this exact same thing. He is being charged with almost the exact same things. Now, these people could be lying, right? Just to get out of jury duty. But again, those stories, you have to kind of prove these things. But anyway, so she was saying that one of her friends is being charged with RAPE and posting of nudes or whatever. And so the judge was like, "What? Is this in the same place?" And she's like, "No, this isn't in the same place." But it was interesting that there was someone on the jury that has a friend that is also going through the same thing that Eligio is going through. And then another interesting thing that I caught yesterday was they asked the questions, they asked the jury, potential jurors, have you, and I may be wording this incorrectly, but it was somewhere around the lines of, have you or anyone else you know ever been like basically, do you or anyone you know distrust the law, or have you or anyone you know ever been treated unfairly by the law or the court system? And it was shocking to me how many people raised their hand in saying yes. It was shocking to me because then, the second round of questionings is they have to explain why they raised their hand for this. So when they raise their hands, they go to their explanation, it's more so of like, the typical stuff, right? We've got police officers being dishonest. We've got uh, them going to the jail and not being fully properly taken care of in the jail. So I think
Hey,
that
Godmama.
kind of goes uh, in Nature Boy's favor. I was listening last night and someone said jury selection is kind of like Rich Rise, Miss Lecker. Jury
Hey, babe.
selection is kind of like chess in the courtroom, and you got to pick your pieces right. You've got to place them right, and your jurors are your pieces on the chessboard. But I'm gonna let my host speak because we're at 8 a.m. So it's about time to check with the court.
It says 8 a.m., but I'm at the website. Hey, Godmama. Hi, everyone in the chat. What's up, Super Jim? I see you. And shout out to the moderators. Hey, y'all. You see I'm running a little bit behind, but I'm at the website. It's saying 9 a.m., but I'm guessing that's Eastern time. So I guess that's 8 a.m. for us, but I'm not for sure.
Well, I've
I'm
got
at the
11
website.
Lives YouTube pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
Got the stream set for 8.
Okay, cool, cool, cool,
Started.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
it started less than a minute ago.
Let's start. Okay, well, let's share it. Let me see. Yep, I see it. All right, let me share my screen with y'all. Hold on one sec. Y'all make sure you hit that like button. Thank you.
Make sure you guys hit the like, share, comment with us. If you feel it in your bones to send some love donations, we greatly appreciate that as well. And yesterday, 11 Alive kind of irritated my soul a little bit, so I hope they get it together today. I did create this little layout for us if we want to try it. That way, if
Hey,
we
yes, I'm on my color people time. And hey, Oshun. Hi, Mama. I was lurking your page yesterday. Hey, lady, still. What's up, Sean in the cut? Hey, everyone. Y'all know we've been waiting for this trial for a long time. And yes, forgive me for being a little bit late. Been a busy night for me over here. So thank you for my co-host. She been holding it down. Ooh, wait.
yeah. Well, see, this is the issue I have with 11 Alive, and hopefully they get their crap together today because we missed a lot of the ending part of jury selection, and I'm vexed. I'm very vexed about it
Yeah,
because
I don't know what they had going on yesterday, but I'm just
whoever was
grateful they're doing this much. Okay. I'm just grateful
yes,
they're doing this much.
yeah, I was so I was so, and then when they came back, it was Rich Rise, T Black. Thank you for coming. And then when they came back, Booker was standing there, Eligio's defense attorney, his name is Booker, um, book her anyways. So, that was a little too corny for 8 AM.
Oh, he getting booked all right.
But, and so when 11 Alive came back, Booker was standing there with the judge filing, motions, and I'm like, "Wait, we didn't even get to see who they picked for the jury," because, um, everybody was really heavily active yesterday in the back, right? A lot of the Nature Boy sector it was hot yesterday,
Oh,
um, and and so everybody's like, "What's going on?" And so most people just closed it out because they thought they were never coming back. Well, they ended up coming back, and Booker, he is going to fight this whole case with language. So we have to be very mindful of that, watching and observing this trial, because Booker is not playing when it comes to language.
oh
Um,
yeah, he's trying to get this thrown out by any means necessary. He's crossing T's and dotting I's, but that's what he should do with all that
mhm,
money Bishop and them been raising for his goofy self. They yeah,
yeah,
so
they should,
we'll see what they these. I'm excited to hear opening statements. I really am.
me too. And I want to say their cult expert witness is their
Hmm.
first witness today. Because that's what Booker was arguing yesterday. Now, before we get into court, I'm just, forewarning you guys, because I did listen, to the end yesterday. Before we get into court, and if this is your first time actually watching court, um, this will be new to you. If not, this is kind of a normal thing if you watch court a lot. But before we start opening statements, before we start the first witness testimony, they have motions that they're going to be arguing this rising before court even starts. So that may be what they're doing right now is arguing their motions, because Booker is really adamant about not having this cult expert testify, um, because right, because Eligio says he's not a cult, and now we're having
Right.
an expert come and kind of give us his expert opinion. And so Booker is making sure that he is for real an expert, that he sticks to the scope of the charges, because we've talked about this before, that it's going to get really hairy in here because the charges are very specific and for one person, right?
Right.
Even though we know he's committed other crimes against other people, that's not what's on trial today. What's on trial today is his allegations from Janae.
Hmm.
That's what's on trial today. But I heard word on the curb was that, Mama Nine said that she is going to, press charges against Musa.
Oh yeah, we were told about that yesterday.
Mhm. That she was gonna press charges against Musa for, basically the same types of charges.
Hmm.
And then I think from what the district attorney kinda threw up yesterday at towards the end and the closing, of jury selection, he was saying basically he kinda hinted around that Velvet's not done either.
Hmm.
That Velvet is going to try to, press charges for basically the same thing as today.
And see,
'Cause
this is
Go
sorry,
ahead.
babe. This is
No.
one of the reasons I wanted the feds to pick up this case because then they could have added all of these charges to one big pot. But I don't know. This might be a better way. This might give him more time in the long run.
His goofy ass really shoulda took that 7-year plea deal. He really should have took it.
Yeah. Well, we gonna see what Mr. Booker has. Okay, maybe Mr. Booker knows something we don't.
Ah, Mr. Booker better be booking. That's
So
all
the
I'm saying.
prosecution is coming off very solid, as though they have got this in the bag.
Mhm.
we'll see
Yep,
what Mr. Booker. They taking their sweet little time for court this rising.
they really are. I'm trying to go see if court, because they said Court TV filed a motion yesterday, but the judge didn't. I won't say it was Court TV's motion that the judge didn't get to, but someone else towards the end of jury selection had filed for a Rule 22, and she said that
Hmm.
she didn't address it until this morning. So whoever it was wanting to bring cameras and stuff into the courtroom, they didn't get their answer yesterday, and she said it was because they didn't have a legitimate reason as to why they wanted to record and air. So I wouldn't think that would be Court TV, because Court TV kind of, like, why would do I need a reason? I'm Court TV.
Right.
So it may have been some, small YouTuber. And those were questions they asked the potential jurors yesterday. Do you own a YouTube channel? Do you manage a YouTube channel? And a lot of people were confused. Like, I have YouTube on my phone. Does that count?
They're like, no. Are you a content creator?
Right. Are you a content creator? Now, the district attorney's second chair, I think she didn't come to play. I think she came with business on her mind.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Cuzzo. Hey, Vicky. Hey, y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. Thank y'all for being here. We're just waiting on the court to start, y'all. We just up here chit-chatting. Went and got me some coffee. Yeah. Thank God you're here to run controls just in case I do take me a little nappy nap. I was up late last night. Hey, Auntie. How you
What
doing,
time?
Miracle?
Hey, y'all. What time did Son have to be where he had to be?
Girl, 2 a.m.
Oh
2
Lord.
a.m. So my goofy self was up at midnight, just packing, making sure he had everything he needed. And then yeah, I dropped him off at around 1:45. So he's got a long day of travel ahead of him, plus all the stuff he's got to do. So yes, it
Yeah.
was a long night for me. But that's okay. We'll get through it. I wouldn't miss this for the world. I'll tell you what.
Amen. I seen you said, yeah, I set it up this morning when I woke up. I was like, dang, what was she doing up so early? But then I remembered the
Hmm. Yeah, my baby boy got to go out of town.
and we plan. I'm gonna go ahead and while we're waiting on them, go ahead and drop the link
Okay.
for
Yeah, if anybody want to come up here, y'all come up here and chit chat with us. Let's get into it. Don't be shy now. Bishop going to
please.
jail.
Bishop going to jail.
Where's
You know,
Pandora? Where's Pandora? Because I heard somebody gave credit to Janae for Bishop getting locked up, and we know Latanya not going to have that.
at all.
Latanya gets all the credit. Period. Mm-hmm. You guys go around. Okay, Ocean. We'll be here. We're gonna be here all day.
All
We ain't
day.
missing nothing today.
Mm-mm. And tomorrow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to the T. I didn't know the T made it down there, but she made her debut. Okay.
Yeah, did you see that? Her news.
I
She
saw
gave a
her
little.
lip. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the T gave a little interview to the news station. Shout out to the T. Ooh wee.
Metadiah was down there. I think Lisa Says What is also down there. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you
Hey,
know,
y'all coming in.
a Snickerdoodle, Rich Rise, E Love in the building. Um, you know, I would really like to make it down there for Verdict Watch, because Verdict Watch is my favorite part of court. I love Verdict Watch. And Verdict Watch could last an hour or it could last a week. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know. To do it saluting the three blesses hard. Bless you.
And I was going through some of the comments on these news coverage videos, and he got some bishop. There's bishop supporters still in the chat talking about free the three.
Absolutely.
And I love
Yeah.
it. I'm hoping the prosecutor's looking at this. And what did the T say yesterday? She really hoped that the girls get up there on the stand and tell the truth on how they feel about Bishop. Bishop being their God.
Right.
You know, we crack jokes about this situation, but this really needs to be seen on this grand of a scale. How delusional and how brainwashed these women sound. It's just and to make this a part of the court. This is something that's going to be with these women and the gentlemen for the rest of their lives. The testimony at Bishop's trial. I mean, it couldn't be me, baby. You're not gonna get me on the record talking about some grown ass goofy nigga is my God. Absolutely not. Just wild. And I wonder, we were talking about this too in the back chats yesterday. I wonder if Bishop's going to be called to the witness stand if he's willing to testify on his own behalf. I really hope so. I hope he get up there and criminalize the fuck out of himself. Incriminate the fuck out of himself. Okay. Yeah, I hope they get on that stand and throw up the three. Go ahead and throw it up for us, ladies. Show us how y'all be doing it. Listen, I told them yesterday, I hope they have their Bishop shirts on. I hope they have their little Nature Boy Cult Daddy shirts on. Okay. I hope they get up there doing their little hand signals, free the three. I hope they get up there and do their little whistling. And another thing, I don't know if Godmama talked about it because I came in a little bit late. You think he will testify, Vicky? Well, we'll see. I hope he do. I hope he get up there. One thing that the T was saying was that the girls, the witnesses, were in the courtroom. And that's usually not the case. Usually they don't have witnesses in the courtroom, whether it's jury selection or not. So that was interesting too. But I don't know, y'all. I've never gone to a trial like this. So I don't know. I've never been a part. And the trials that I have seen, I didn't see no witnesses sitting in the audience. I just thought that was weird. The hairline is pushed back 30 years. It shows as he in there stressing, malnourished. Oh, that's another thing the T said. She said that the girls look malnourished. Nothing new. And I was sitting there thinking about that too. Like, how are they able to, like, are they working? I mean, it's really none of my business because they're not out here begging me for a damn thing. But I mean, how are the ladies maintaining? You know? Are they back on their B6 diet? She had her shirt on. She did have her shirt. That's what I want her to wear it on the stand. I want them to wear their little shirts on the stand. Free the three. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy, y'all. And I am tweaked and I am geeked, okay? Hey, ladies, we're still waiting, y'all. Like I said, on the what time is it? It's 8:16. On the website, it said 9 a.m. Let me go back to this. It says something about the proceedings will start at 9 a.m., but everybody else said 8 a.m. So I'm not sure, y'all. I'm checking the website. It don't say nothing. Yeah, it says right here, opening statements are to begin Thursday at 9 a.m. So we're an hour early. Let's go. Maybe we should go through some of these clips. Let me see. Gerald Hunter, see the trial. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We could go through some old clips while we here waiting. Jackson, yeah, the women was inside and Jackson Juju was outside. Yeah, I saw that. Vic is live making excuses for Bishop again. Oh my gosh, Victor.
Tell Vic to come hit the link and say it with his chest. No, I'm just playing.
With his chest, his bird chest, girl. We know Vic ain't got no damn chest. Yeah, see, it said 9 o'clock on my thing. Opening. I don't think they really know over here. Yes, ask a question. Come on. Lady Still, you know what time it is. Let me go over here to Vic real quick while y'all get your questions in order. Let me open this other tab. Hold on. Victor. Oh, dang. Everybody's live. Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah. Nature Boy sector is active. I know that's right. Oh, Bish, fucking Vic. Not we in the. Vic be cracking me up. Look, Max V's live. Everybody's live. We waiting on this. Oh, we Bishop. What initially drew you into watching Nature Boy? Then what kept you watching? Well, for me personally, I had a close family friend of the family. He's like a little nephew to me. He was following some of Bishop's teaching as far as the diseases of the mind. So that's how I was initially introduced to Bishop. But I had already started like a little, I won't say an exposed channel, but I had already started a lurker channel. So I had uploaded a little post on Instagram, and I asked the cousins, this is back when we were watching Ronnie real heavy and Ronnie went to jail. And I asked the cousins, I said, hey, do y'all know about Nature Boy? And nobody knew. Nobody knew. So we just started lurking on him. And what kept us watching was the cycle of abuse. At first, I just was like wanting to get to know the information he was teaching. I really did. I wanted to come from a place of understanding, but then he just started abusing his tribe, and he was starving his tribe, and they were getting not extradited, but they were getting expelled from different countries. They were getting kicked out of different countries. So that's what really made me stay.
Mm-hmm. You know what made okay. When I first saw Nature Boy, the first video I ever saw of him, he was kneeling down in front of Yaya. This is old. He was kneeling down in front of Yaya, and he was saying how the black woman. This was when Eligio was heavily on the black woman as God, and he was saying how the black woman is God, how she should be treated with the utmost respect. He was kneeling down in front of her, holding her hand. It was, I mean, if I would have never watched Eligio after that, he would have hook, line, and sinkered me. And I was like, wow, there's a man out here that's preaching the knowledge and he's living it. Let me watch this. And again, we were in the cousins, we were watching Arana. It ended up getting into a running joke or whatever. But what kept me there was when I realized that his teaching rhetoric was not for the betterment of people, but was for the control of people. And then we started watching people try to leave and he wouldn't let them leave. We started watching Real Nigga Moments and they were very toxic and abusive. Then we got to start seeing Velvet get pregnant and how that happened, and it was a long road of can't put this down because no one else is paying attention. I think a lot of it was the black community. We knew at that specific time that no, the law was not going to get involved um, because they weren't stateside, and it was a group of black people. And most of the time, our government does not care if we're just going to keep it real. Um, but that's why I started and stayed um, because I knew someone was going to get hurt, and then Mama Dia got hurt, Baby Love got hurt. Rest in peace to all of Fufu's babies that are hurt.
Mhm.
You know,
I mean, we even the people who didn't pass away, they were malnourished. They were, I don't know,
yeah.
they were pooping on trees. There's just a lot of stuff that kept both of us, like what is going on over here?
Sean in the Cuts question was, do you think Labanya is going to talk? Nature Boy case.
Oh, absolutely, Sean. We all know better than that.
She's
Yes.
just gonna be on TikTok talking about it. She won't come over here, um, with the sector.
Yeah,
But,
she's
you
not
know
going to join us, but yeah, she definitely over there laid up in her bed or on her sofa somewhere.
mhm, yeah. Ready and waiting.
And she's going to turn it into a teachable moment.
Absolutely. It wouldn't be Latanya if she didn't turn it into a teachable moment. Hello. And
Hello.
it wouldn't be Latanya if she didn't say, that the Nature Boy sector should be on trial with Felicia. So, there's that.
Oh
'Cause
my
he
God.
made her lose her job and,
Oh
uh,
boy. Oh boy.
if I woulda known News 11 was gonna be like this, I woulda had some clips queued up for you guys. Some especially I woulda definitely had the Pop Marquez clip pulled up where he said, "Nature Boy, you're going to jail."
You're going to jail.
Pops,
Okay.
this one is for you, honey. I know you sitting there on your throne like, "Yes, where is the popcorn? Where is the popcorn?" Okay? Who knows? Who knows? Pop Marquez might be that fly sitting in the courtroom today, okay? He might be that
Okay.
fly that buzzes around the juror's ear like bzz, 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 bzz.
Yes, people passed away. Hey, Regis is in the building. What's up, Libra gang? Come through.
Shout out to you,
Yes,
Regis.
people passed away around this fool. A couple people.
Yes.
Okay. A good handful of people done passed away around this man or would leave and shortly after pass away. Okay.
Mhm. And he
Yeah.
also had someone attached to him who, after they left, ended up taking their own mother's life.
Life. Hmm.
Mhm.
Mariah
Yeah.
left Bishop, went home and knifed her mother down.
Yep.
Sure did. And she is currently in prison. What about the young ladies that killed? Yep, that's who we were talking about. Mariah. Was Mariah.
And,
Oh,
even though Mariah did do the crime, right? She did do the crime.
mm-hmm.
I a part of me feels like she kinda got lost to the system. Um, I really feel like she got lost.
What do you mean?
Because when I say she got lost to the system, because the system didn't, acknowledge her her mental state. And maybe that was a part of, what her defense attorney should have done. I don't even remember if she took it that far. Um, but before she even went home, there were recordings of her in a hotel room losing it, right? She was losing her mind in the hotel room. People were having to join the call with her and kind of talk her down and calm her down.
Mhm.
So I really feel like she didn't get the proper justice that she should have gotten. Yes, is it unfortunate that she committed that crime? Absolutely. Should she be punished for it? Absolutely.
Well, we even tried. It was brought up. I do remember in the highlight of Mariah's situation, it was brought up, even in the news, that she was with Bishop before this happened. But
Mhm.
it didn't get the legs. So I'm with you on that as far as the justice system, kind of dropped the ball on that. Um, very unfortunate. But these are the things Bishop has practiced or taught his members is to uh, divide yourself away from your family
Mhm.
by cut those strings. Your family is dead. That person you were back in Babylon is dead. And some
Mhm.
people, you just don't know how literal or how far some people are going to live by that code. I'm not
Right.
saying she went and attacked her mom because Bishop told her to. I'm just saying those things play in your mind. He prided himself on saying, I'm going to seep this into your subconscious. He was
Mhm.
very tactile with his teachings and his way of brainwashing. He knew what he was doing. He was sleep depriving his crew. He was
Mhm.
having them memorize all of these, he would call them lessons or whatever. Um, these people were drained mentally, physically, emotionally, and then he would fill them back up with this false reality and these these irrelevant teachings.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, yeah, there's a lot of people that Bishop has affected. He likes to say things like, "Where you weren't here with us in the cult," or not. He doesn't say cold, but you weren't here with us in the house. Well, no, we had people who went undercover, Bishop, and you used to do your little. Remember his Facebook University?
Mhm.
He used to have those members up on the phone all hours of the night, all hours of the day. So, no,
Yep.
there are so many people that might not have been in the house, but were taking heed to his bullshit teachings.
Absolutely.
So,
Because around that time, he was also teaching that your parents are demons. You remember
mhm,
that? Mhm. That's why it was very I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes, Mariah did do this to her mother, but she just came from a place where this man was drilling it into her head that her
mhm,
mother is a demon, that her mother
yes,
is attachment that she has to get rid of in
mhm,
order to make it to the kingdom of heaven." So how do we not know that in Mariah's um, induced state that she wasn't thinking, I have to get back to the kingdom of heaven. And the only way to get back to the kingdom of heaven is to sacrifice this demon.
mhm.
And I wish it just, one loss to
Right.
the system and Eligio gets to, put that notch on his bedpost, in my opinion. But I don't think that they will testify against him um, on purpose. I'll say it like that. I don't think they'll do it on purpose.
Oh my gosh. I'm not laughing because this is an enjoyable moment. I'm laughing because you know what? Just to keep myself from crying, I guess. I don't know. This is just wild to me, and I'm very eager to see these witnesses on the stand. I really am.
Mhm, mhm.
And the
I
T was
mean,
saying, I hope they don't lie. I hope they do. I hope
I
you
hope
goofies get up there and lie and get yourself another charge. Perjury. I'll take it by any means necessary.
and what would be hilarious to me? It wouldn't be hilarious if Eligio got found not guilty, but it would be hilarious to me if they said, "Eligio Bishop, not guilty." And the 3 blind mice stand up and they're like, "Yes, yes, yes." And then the bailiff comes and, "Put your arms behind your back."
Well, see, I thought about that too. Even if Bishop, if this is a mistrial or if there's something, if something happens and this man gets away with whatever, he still has charges for trying to bring drugs in, right?
Right.
Didn't he catch another felony? So,
So 2, right?
right. So there's even if he get out of this, he still got another one to answer for. It's not
Mhm.
all a lost cause. But I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, the prosecution really putting it out there, like they, have sharpened up their knives. So
Mhm.
yeah, her and
And
her mom had a lot of issues, but those are the people Bishop finds. He
mm,
finds the people. He doesn't find the people that Hey Trace, you're good, baby. We still waiting on. They haven't started yet. Hey Fly. Hey baby. Um, that's the people he looks for. The lost, the broken, the people who don't really get along too well with their family, even if they have family support. He still finds a if you tell him, "Oh, me and my mom had a disagreement," he'll find a way to exploit that, emphasize that, and drive a wedge.
right.
So he
Mm.
really gets off on family drama and dysfunctional people who come from dysfunctional homes. Yeah, he preys on people like that. Those are his favorite.
And, I was interested me yesterday to watch, Eligio in the courtroom. Um, I'm not even gonna hold you. I was a little worried, for the jury with him facing them. I was a little worried about it because Eligio is very good at charming people. Even with his looks, his smile, his gaze, he's
Hmm.
very good at that. But yesterday, in my opinion, he did not do himself a service down to the way he dressed. down to the way his mannerisms were sitting there. He kinda sat there and had this persona, um, like he was King Dingaling, right? That he was pimptastic. Uh, I was reading Lady Steele's comment, but he didn't come in there, and most of the time they tell you, "Come in here dressed and appeared to be humble." Eligio did not do that.
Humble. Humble. You think
And
three gods coming into the court to be humble?
and even to the point, sis, where he was making, like, stank faces
Yeah.
to
Hmm.
the prosecutor, to some things the judge would say, to things that the jurors would say. Like, one lady was explaining how she was sexually assaulted, and
Hmm.
Alicia was just sitting there throwing his hands up.
Yep.
And Booker is still asking her more questions, but you could tell Eligio was kinda like, cut it, stop asking questions, we don't want her. We don't want her at all." Um,
Hmm.
you know,
He in
he's
there being sassy like always.
yeah, he's
Uh oh.
really,
Uh oh.
really
We got action, God Mama.
we got action. Make sure
Hey,
y'all go
hey, Reeve. Hey, Reeve. Hey, babies.
read.
Y'all, we got action.
Make sure y'all go get y'all's cup, y'all's coffee filled, get your ish filled. Make sure your headphones, your earbuds
Hmm.
are charged. Thank you, 504. When we get to a break, baby, we
We'll
will.
play that. I'm going to star that for later. Bloop. Got it. Okay. The audio is not up yet, so I'm not sure, y'all. We waiting on audio. Audio. Yeah, they haven't started the audio yet.
I figured that.
Look, look at Miss Light Skin with the braids down here. Get them, sister.
Rich Rise, we on Lock Nation. I enjoyed just a little whatever. I enjoyed your conversation last night. I was in the bushes watching. We
Me
unlock if
too.
y'all aren't subscribed to him.
Yes,
Subscribe.
please go subscribe to We Unlock Nation. Oh, we got action. Ooh, put a one in the chat if y'all ready. Put a one in the chat if y'all ready.
Danielle Holland, Dannille. Holland is in the country.
Okay. I understand you want to record the proceedings via an iPhone, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you work for a media outlet?
No, I'm an independent citizen journalist.
Okay.
Shout out to Menadiah. Look
Is
at
there
you,
a
big
reason why
girl.
you
Let's
can't get
go.
the footage from Fox 5?
Yes, ma'am. They've indicated that I could get it via Chromebook or computer,
Okay,
but I don't have that access.
okay, well, the reason we do this, do the pooled footage is so that we don't have multiple cameras going on in the courtroom, and holding up an iPhone, um, I think could be distracting. There are rules that have to be followed, such as jurors not filmed. I can control it somewhat with Fox 5. They know the rules, they know what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. So that's why they are designated as the official Rule 22 videographer. So if you can get it, you just have to figure out a way to make it work. Get whatever you need to get in order to get that have access to the coverage. So you're not being denied access, but I don't want, I want one camera.
Yes.
And there's one video camera and one regular camera. But we don't want that to, additional cameras to be a big distraction.
Understood.
So for that reason, I'm denying this Rule 22, but suggest that you make arrangements to get whatever you need to get so you can access it. You'll still be able to access the footage.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're very welcome. Okay.
Yes, for those of y'all that don't know, that's Metadiah. Let's go. Nature Boy sector is active. They put us back on mute for a minute. The judge seems reasonable. She doesn't want this to be a circus. I get it. And they've already had to deal. I mean, y'all, let's not forget, we've already had to deal with people trying to join Bishop's Zoom call, people trying to, get action all up in the court. So I understand her reason for, keeping it cute. One, she don't want it to be a circus, period. Reef, they were just asking about adding cameras and independent journalism. And the judges, it sounded like she denied it, said she wanted to keep it with just one camera. So we're waiting, y'all. We're getting ready for opening statements. Oh, wait. I'm excited, y'all. Let me roll up. It's time. Let's do a wake and bake. The nature of the whole thing is a circus. Yeah, it is. It's unfortunate. But here we are, y'all. Oh, my goodness. Take notes, y'all. Look, Mr. Booker up there, jaw jacking like a mug, ain't he? Okay, Trace. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. But we here, we're ready. Okay, Trace.
I had to go warm my coffee up, baby. Mm.
I might have to get me another cup. I already drank one cup. I stopped at 7 brew.
Ooh, nice. So did Medagaya get her Rule 22?
I don't think so. The judge said she just wanted one camera.
Yeah, Stacy, she's not really been what would I say, fluid, I guess, with this process. I don't know. And yesterday I was thinking maybe she's not wanting it aired that much or controlled just for the witness purposes. I
Well,
don't know.
that's what I said. I said I don't think she wants to make it a better. Okay, I will. I think she's not wanting to make it a circus, is what I was saying. I think the judge wants to keep it, because I was telling them how Wavy P called in to the Zoom calls. Like, there's been issues with the public trying to get in with the Bishop case. So I can understand her reasoning for keeping it to an official news person, right? It's been 2 years. They've been back and forth. People trying to notify the courts. People trying to, you know what I'm saying, on both sides. People going against and people supporting. So I'm sure that, it's unfortunate, but it makes sense. And we want this to be as not tainted as possible.
Absolutely.
We'll go by books.
This isn't considered a high-profile case, but in certain sections, this is a very high-profile case. And I don't think Miss Stacy realized that on the internet, it is a high-profile case.
It really is.
I don't think she realized the magnitude of
His reach.
Yes.
His reach. But once he was in jail and he started, remember at the beginning when he talking about he got a new tribe in jail? So not only are they witnessing his power inside the jail, they're witnessing all this, stuff outside the jail as well. So yes, this is definitely high profile. We don't know, Reef. We're waiting to see. Mr. Booker up there, he's doing his best to defend this man.
Mr. Booker is fighting for Eligio's life right now. Okay. He is fighting. But if he would have took that dumbass 7-year plea deal, he would literally be out next year. That's the max. But I'm glad he's too egotistical to do that. I'm grateful that he's way too egotistical to do that. But look at me. And that was funny because all the girls kept saying that in their malicious prosecution videos. Look at Eligio. Does he look like he needs to rape anyone? I'm thinking, man, says every rapist everywhere. What? That's literally what everyone says. Look at me. Do I look like I need to take it from women? Ugh. Like, yeah, from the ones who don't want you.
Thank you. And I was listening to the T talk about the T talk about the different, not every, I'm just going to say it, not every rape is violent.
Mhm.
And, you know, as far as physically, maybe not, but it is an act of violence.
Mhm.
It is. I think that that is the most violent a person, something you could do to somebody.
Right.
That is, I mean, because you're not just doing it to their physical, it attacks their mental and their spiritual as well. To me, that's probably the most violent thing someone can do to anybody is
Mhm.
rape them. So it
Mhm.
might not be a big struggle or a physical altercation, but it is probably the most violent thing.
And, that was one of the questions that they asked the potential jurors yesterday was, um, can you agree that a victim of a crime such as sexual assault or rape doesn't always come forward shortly after?
Mhm.
And I think that was a major, major question for them to ask because that is going to be the base of Eligio's plight, right? Why did
Mhm.
she wait so long to say something? Why didn't if this is what it was, why didn't she immediately go to the police? Or why did it take her having an interview with the T to come to the realization that this is what has happened to her? Um,
Mhm.
and I'm very interested to see if the judge, if Miss Heydrich allows that video into evidence because they are fighting tooth and nail for that interview of Janae and the T
Mhm.
to be presented as evidence to basically say that the T was coercing Janae to say that this is what happened to her. But a lot of us know, and many people who've worked with victims know that sometimes they do need a little reality check. Like, no, baby, that's not what happened. Because I watch a lot of it, so I understand. Um, I understand why Janae first didn't see it the way that it actually was. Because again, we've watched this type of behavior for 5, 6, 7 years, where we'll literally watch him smack them in the face, and then they come back and say, "Well, I was talking back, so I deserved it." They're not correlating the abuse. They're not understanding.
I agree. And like the still says, the cult mindset will trump a lot of those arguments.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's a survival mode.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna hold you. The TG checked the fuck out of me yesterday. I mean, she didn't say my name personally, but I was one of the people who had stated, because she brought up the fact, she was like, and some of y'all said Janae shouldn't have done the interview with me. Well, I was one of those people. So in hindsight, I mean, I still kind of feel that way, but am I grateful that it's led up to where we are today? Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. I think
Mm-hmm.
mainly the reason why people, and excuse me if you hear paper rattling, I'm rolling up paper planes. Um, I think it wasn't that she interviewed with the T. I don't think that's what it was. I think more so if we get down deeper into the feeling, it was like, damn, are they going to be able to use like they're using it now, right? Like, you made her say this, and we know T didn't intentionally make her say something that did not happen to her. Um, but again, I think it was just the shit. Are they going to be able to use this and get it thrown out type of thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my sentiments as well, because when I discussed it, I said, well, could they even use this in court? Like, is it even admissible? But then I went back and I said, well, it could be, because look at Young Thug on trial. And they're
Right.
using some of his social media videos to incriminate him.
Mhm.
So that's why I said we'll just have to wait and see. But that was the only reason why I did say what I said. Um, and speaking of, I said what I said. Thank you, Tracy, for sharing your personal opinion. We love that, and you too, everybody. Get comfortable, speak freely. Lady
What
Stills,
is
but I would agree the fact that people, oh, yes, absolutely, that people willingly participated, but he ultimately held them captive and out of the country helpless. Absolutely, Lady Stone. And we've
Mhm,
had these conversations time and time again of what did I call it? Um, is it
oh,
victim blaming or holding criminals accountable?
mhm, mhm.
Boy, we've broken this down so many times. Is it victim blaming or holding criminals accountable? Okay, because some of y'all need to be held accountable. Period. I said what I
Amen.
said.
Mhm. Yes, I think a lot of them should be held accountable for their crimes. Is it unfortunate?
Hmm.
Absolutely, but you still have to pay your debt, sir, ma'am.
Hmm.
You still have to pay your debt of the things that you did to these people, and no one is exempt in this situation, unfortunately, because all of their hands are dirty,
Yep.
you know?
This is this one day. This is yesterday was the jury selection, so technically this is day two, but I guess this is technically day one of the actual trial part.
Mhm.
Reef. He is a demon. He's still a demon that needs to be under somewhere. He does. And that's why we're where we're at right now.
Mhm. And so, even if, let's play devil's advocate, even if Janae is, not telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth in this specific situation, I still wanna shout her out because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her, in this moment. Now, could someone else maybe have pulled the trigger because they was tired? Absolutely, and I have faith that they would have. But we still gotta give Janae some flowers because if it wasn't for her bravery, we would not be sitting here today at 8:49 collectively waiting for a cult expert to testify and say the things that we've been screaming for years. And Nature Boy can't say that he's never claimed to be a cult because he has. He would try to play on the words of culture. Yes, we're a cult. We're full of culture.
He called us cult members because we like iPhones. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Y'all in an iPhone cult. Y'all in the Babylon cult. Y'all in the work cult. Everything y'all do is cult, cult, cult.
Yep.
Two things. What happened to the girls who tried to drone drop him a package? They are wearing their free the three god shirts and sitting in the courtroom somewhere. They got their own little they got trial coming up for their little judge or their little drone situation coming up soon. And then Reef said, "Are we changing the name after the trial?" I highly doubt that.
I highly doubt it.
Oh, we're Nature Boy Sector forever.
We have to have the name etched in stone, okay?
Hmm.
We have to let the future generations know that there was a group of people out here that did not play when it came to, um, the predators of the conscious community, I'll put it like
Oh, I remember when what's his name? Y'all Ken talking about we the feds. Y'all the feds. We sure are, sir.
we sure
Yeah, Ken
are.
was scared of us. Y'all the feds. Zoka's still in jail. Is Zoka still in jail, Tracy? Except okay.
Yep,
Zoka's still in jail. But the other two are out and about.
and I
And
know she and they're going through it right now.
shit, that sounds like personal problems. Okay, I don't know what to tell you, girl. Did nobody tell you to take your silly ass over there like that?
Her baba, my baba, Poppy,
Vicky
Poppy.
says, I will say I have seen him hold people against their will on video. So I think he should be found guilty of that. And he has said he was going to embarrass Velvet. So he put out the video of her as revenge. Yes, he definitely has, like Tracy said earlier in the chat, he definitely has a pattern of
Mhm,
this type of behavior for sure.
for sure. Because honestly, going back to Vicky's comment, we should have been here years ago
Hmm.
when he did that to Velvet. Remember, everyone was in Velvet's Are we talking? Thought I heard a little rumble. No,
Uh-oh.
but Velvet, everybody was in Velvet's ear, like, listen, he just did revenge porn on you.
Yep.
Turn his ass in. Turn him in. And she, for whatever reason, she wouldn't do it. But that's neither here nor there. But we would have already been here years ago. Rise G5 moderator.
What's up, G5? Grand Rising, Mama.
So
Yeah,
fly.
we ready.
We
We
are
ready
ready.
for this. Can't we all be a squad? Not everybody, right? Shit. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a squad. It'd be a cult. Just kidding. Oh, Lord, they taking their sweet time back there. That's okay. Take y'all time.
Take your time. Take your
Take your
time.
time.
We want this to go smooth and just.
Ooh.
We don't want to give Eligio any grounds for mistrial. We don't want to give him any grounds to win an appeal. Nothing.
Mm-mm. Nothing.
No things. If you haven't already, while we're sitting here waiting, please hit the like button if you haven't. If you have the capabilities to share, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, stories, whatever, give it a share. If you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. What's Lady Still got to say? How
She's
are we?
asking about, yeah, go ahead.
How are they processing all the social media videos, posts, channels that are documenting and commentating on him over the years? Did they use any of this for evidence? That's what they were talking about yesterday. Oh, keep asking. Keep asking. They talked about this yesterday. There was Eligio. I'm glad he didn't have on black today. Anyways, that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to put in a 58-minute clip as evidence, and I think that was a YouTube. They're trying to put in the YouTube of the T and Janae's interview, and then whatever the state showed
Put a
us
few things on the record before we get
during
started. I
on here.
understand there was a plea offer that was presented by the state. Mr. Coveney, will you put the details of that offer on the record, please?
Are we about to start the
Count
plea?
one rape would be reduced to the charge of aggravated assault, and count two, false imprisonment, would be offered for no cross. Defendant would plead guilty to counts 3 through 5 of the indictment, and 3 counts of revenge porn. The total sentence would be 30 years, so the 20 years on aggravated assault would run consecutive, or the revenge porn charges would run consecutive to the 20 years on aggravated assault for a total of 30 years. There would be between 10 and 20 years to serve in confinement. That number would be left up to your honor after argument from the parties. There are several special conditions that are attached to the sentence. Those include no contact with the victim, as well as the defendant may not profit off of this case or the facts giving rise to the case, and the defendant would be banished from the state of Georgia except for Clayton County.
You can only stay in Clayton County, is that what you said?
Yes, but primarily because
Banished
you left
from
the
the
airport
state
with
of
Spain
Georgia.
violation.
Gotcha, ban, but working. All right. Mr. Booker,
Yes, sir.
have you discussed the terms of this offer with your client?
I think he has further questions, Judge.
Okay.
Essentially, the terms that the state and I talked about this morning, my client was concerned about having to register as a sex offender. The way that the state has crafted his plea, he would not be required to register as a sex offender. And so that was a large portion of what he's seeking. Again, there would be parolable offenses versus what we're facing now, which would be a mandatory minimum life or split sentence on rape. So, assuming the jury comes guilty. Do you need further time to discuss what the state has proposed? Okay.
All right, I'll give you more minutes to talk, but then if we need to move forward, if we're not gonna do it, so.
Not a plea agreement, bitch nigga.
The OVA team is withdrawn at the time that Ms. Newell, which is the first state's witness, takes the stand and is sworn.
All right, so the next 3 minutes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right.
Not the kitchen getting hot, Eligio. Not the kitchen getting too hot for you, brother. Look at you. Look at you.
Look at you. That was me, 504, my bad.
Oh my gosh.
Baby.
Oh my gosh.
Baby. Not the plea agreement before opening statements. Come on, Bishop.
They
Come
said
on, Bishop.
that man will not be allowed in the state of Georgia except for Clayton County. How you are banned from a state?
Mm-hmm.
You getting kicked out of deported from countries. Now you are banned from a state.
Wow, this is a turn of events. I swear, if he come out with this plea, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this, y'all.
I
You know,
cannot
I'm gonna
even.
be hurt. I'm gonna be pissed, but it is what it is. What they say, something about 30 years, but they'll drop it down to 20, something consecutive, blah, blah, blah.
They'll run everything consecutive. Yep, 30 years.
Damn. She said,
Mhm.
yeah, if y'all gonna discuss it, hurry up.
Right. Because we've been here for what, an hour and 11 minutes? Thank you. Because
She
it's
said,
9:08
hurry
y'all
up.
time.
She said, do that now. Do that now.
Judge Hydrick don't be playing. She does not be playing about that. Hurry up. We on a time crunch. I got shit to do.
Right, because they tried to throw out that continuance. They put in that
Mhm.
motion for a continuance, and now they talking about plea deal. She ain't got time for it.
Nope.
Wow, this is wild.
Mr. Bishop, look at your
Mm.
pussy ass.
Did you so fly? Not me. The way he was sitting there yesterday, I thought for sure he was ready. And the way Mr. Booker was talking about language and discrepancies and all this other
Mhm.
stuff, I did not see this one coming.
I didn't either. Reeve said he doing the Polite exit. Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Because Polite did the same thing. He argued, listen, I don't want to be labeled a sex offender.
Yep.
I'll plead guilty, but I don't want to be labeled no sex offender. Nah, nigga, you need to be a sex offender, period. Period.
Hilarious.
You need to register everywhere you go, period. The
Wow.
government needs to be able to keep tabs on you, dude, period. Period. You don't need to be by children, around children, none of that, period. Right.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Drop the link in case anybody want to come up and say
Oh
what they
boy.
feeling right now. Because, honey, I can't even put it into words.
I can't either. My palms are sweaty.
Swear to God.
My heart is palpitating. Oh my goodness.
Just like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
He came with the white pants, the white turtleneck, the blue paisley. And Lady Steele said it earlier, paisley gives very self-absorbed.
Mm-hmm. It sure does. We're waiting, Reef. We don't know. They went back to go discuss
Mm-hmm.
if they're taking the plea deal. So we're waiting. Cuzzo, they came out, the defense came out asking, or the judge came out saying that a plea agreement was slid on her desk. So they're discussing right now if Bishop's going to sign the plea deal, which it sounded like he was going to do the revenge porn and the kidnapping
You want
charge.
to maybe rewind it back a little bit?
Okay,
Or
yeah, let's. Uh-oh, look, they ended the live stream. It's buffering.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow. He took the plea. They ended the live, y'all.
Maybe they'll come back because they did that yesterday. Okay, you be quiet. But
All right.
before he gets to that, they did that. News 11 Alive did that yesterday. They ended it. They came right back.
Okay, well, let's keep a lookout, y'all. We about to listen to this real quick. That was quick. Let's listen to what the judge got to say real quick, and I'll put myself on complete. I can't believe Medea's live. Medea's live.
All right, we need
Okay.
to put a few things on the record before we get started. I understand there was a plea offer that was presented by the state. Mr. Coveney, will you put the details of that offer on the record, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Count one, rape would be reduced to the charge of aggravated assault, and count two, false imprisonment, would be offered for null pros. Defendant would plead guilty to counts 3 through 5 of the indictment, and 3 counts of revenge porn. The total sentence would be 30 years, so the 20 years on aggravated assault would run consecutive, or the revenge porn charges would run consecutive to the 20 years on aggravated assault for a total of 30 years. There would be between 10 and 20 years to serve in confinement. That number would be left up to Your Honor after argument from the parties. There are several special conditions that are attached to the sentence. Those include no contact with the victim, as well as the defendant may not profit off of this case or the facts giving rise to the case, and the defendant would be banished from the state of Georgia except for Clayton County.
You can only stay in Clayton County, is that what you said?
Yes, but it primarily he could utilize the airport without being in violation of the terms of the
Banned,
sentence.
but for Clayton County. All right. Mr. Booker,
Yes, sir.
have you discussed the terms of this offer with your client?
I think he has further questions, Judge.
Okay.
Essentially, the terms that the state and I talked about this morning, my client was concerned about having to register as a sex offender. The way that the state has crafted the plea, he would not be required to register as a sex offender. And so that was a large portion of what he was seeking. Again, there would be parolable offenses versus what we're facing now, which would be a mandatory minimum life or split sentence on rape. So, assuming that you're responsible. Do you need further time to discuss what the state has proposed? Okay.
All right, I'll give you a few more minutes to talk, but then if we need to move forward, if we're not going to do it, so.
And if the state could, just for my client's identification, if you can state on the record that he doesn't accept the plea when it's deemed as withdrawn, so you'll know.
The OVA deemed is withdrawn at the time that Ms. Newell, which is the first state's witness, takes the stand and is sworn.
All right, so the next few minutes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Godmama, is that Medea's live?
No,
In the
that
back?
was no. They cut this feed too, so I don't know. I can pull up.
Okay.
Medea.
If I mod you up real quick, Oshun, will you please drop Medea's link for us so we can watch it real quick, babe? I'm going to rinse you up, Oshun, if you don't mind dropping that link for us so we can see what Medea had to say, because I can't find her channel. I'm not subbed to her, or maybe I am and I just don't recall her. She went back in. Did she save the live, though? If she saved the live, I'll mod you real quick so you can drop that link for us. Tracy, they're deciding on if they were going to do. She just logged off. You're on her channel? Tracy, you're on her channel?
I don't see it.
No, she didn't. Okay.
So we're
Okay. Tracy, what do you mean? What happened if you're on Medea's channel? Basically, they said something about a plea agreement. We don't know if they reached it or not. Medea saying they're going back in. She was just giving us. No, she didn't say that. Okay. 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 Double check, y'all. Just double check, because sometimes it takes a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they slid a plea deal across the table for 30 years, knocked off 10, so 20 years consistent. She did save it. Okay, hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna come over here and mod you up. But we're just waiting to see if he signed it or not. You were subbed to her channel. Okay. Hold on, y'all. We're gonna get the link from Oshun. Give me 1 sec.
Yes, because they'll have to come back into the courtroom and verbally express in front of the public, in front of the audience, in front of the court recorder, that he is taking this plea deal that they just slid across, which is Eligio a bitch for this. But in true Eligio fashion, this is a move he would have pulled. Just because he doesn't want to, he saw who was going to be the jury of his peers. And I said something about that yesterday. He is terrified of those people that are going to be sitting there judging him because those are not his people. And in Eligio's mind, because he's sick, he thinks those people are not on code. You know what I mean? They're not. They're demons. They're trolls. They're working for the white man system. He's sick, and that's not even to give him an excuse to anything. But Eligio is very sick. So in his true fashion, I wouldn't be surprised if this is what he does. Because we know he never takes, if we go back in time, we know he never takes full accountability for anything he ever does or did. Anytime the kitchen was getting hot, Eligio would pack up shit and run, head for the hills. He's a coward. Exactly. Exactly. He's a coward. It, I'm a little irritated. Be safe, Oshun. Be safe. I'm a little irritated, but again, this is what Eligio gives. Exactly. Exactly. He's still going, even if he takes this plea deal, he's still going to sleep in that jail cell tonight and tomorrow. 30 years is a good amount of years. And if he signs it to where he has, I hope the state holds strong on sex offender list.
Me too.
I hope they hold strong.
Me too. And
Take it
y'all,
to trial.
he still has more charges coming for the trying to get the marijuana brought in.
Mhm.
So he still has more charges. Oh boy. What a
Wow.
goofy nigga.
Just wow.
Mm-hmm.
Just
That's right.
motherfucking wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So fucking Bishop. I can't believe he came in wearing that outfit and talking about plea deals. Nigga, what? What happened, Bishop? What happened to Free the Three?
This is how I
Yeah.
feel right now. Listen.
Whoa, 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 bruh. What the fuck is you doing, nigga?
I feel right now. Whoa, 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 bruh, bruh. Fuck is
Oh my gosh. What the fuck you thought this was, nigga?
Mm-mm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Hold them feet to the motherfucking fire.
Mm-hmm. Not a humble bone in this man's body. Not a humble bone. That's right. Let's go. Let's go.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. Let's go through a little bit of this. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Child. What were they saying yesterday about some Korean court? Y'all heard that from the T yesterday? There was some Korean cult also on trial down there
Mhm.
in Atlanta. Yeah, the T was talking about there's all kinds of cults we don't even know about. Well, turn us on. Turn us on, the T. We got it.
We got it. We need
Mm,
some new. We need some new.
go ahead and say it.
Clean it up, okay? Clean it up.
Mhm.
Getting these predators, okay? Get them out of here, out of here. Concerned citizens don't. No, we concerned again.
Okay.
But, it was interesting to me that it was specifically in there that he can never be in the state of Georgia except for this specific county.
Well, I've heard of that. I knew somebody that was expelled from the state of Nevada. They were like, you could never, they didn't even give him a county he could go to.
What's
So,
that? Wisconsin?
mhm,
Yes, that's what it's looking like. It's looking like he's considering the 30 years.
mhm,
But he's not really wanting the sex offender title.
mhm.
But we were just saying how we hope the state holds strong on, no, he needs to be on the register, because that way they can track what the hell and where the hell he does. And if he doesn't register, boom, you get to go right back on up in there, Caesar.
Not Jane Fonda's Korean cult. Is that what it is? Lady
Oh,
Still, do
what?
you know about the cult? Oh, Lord, my dog's outside barking out. I'm sorry if y'all can hear that.
Vincent, I'm telling you, we were sitting here like, wait, what? And then they cut the feed. Like, y'all playing?
Mhm. And how
Mm,
much time is he facing if found guilty? I don't know. I thought
I
it was
30. Oh, you mean by jury? Oh, I
right.
didn't do that. I'm sorry. That was the
I don't
wrong.
know how much time he's facing if by jury. I thought it was the 30, 45 area,
Mm,
but it can't be if their plea deal saying 30.
it might
Yeah,
be
it
close.
cut because they went to go discuss the judge told them, y'all go discuss it and hurry up. And they're still not back live, so I don't know.
And then you said you couldn't find Metadias.
No, I couldn't I did 504 girl gave us Medea's page and I went and looked over there. She didn't save the live.
She may have
And
put it on like members only or something.
oh,
Mhm.
okay. Maybe she did that then. So yeah, I'm not sure. Uh-oh, Stinson's backstage. Come on, mama. Oh,
Uh-oh.
she dropped.
Your
Was that an
device?
accident?
I don't know.
Sometimes it's an accident for Stinson. She'll be at work.
Mhm.
Uh Jane Fonda was ratty out the point of view in Vietnam back in the 70s. Uh-oh. Well, I don't know
Uh,
if that's the cult, but okay, I'll look into that.
War. Damn. Okay. Thank you, G5. I didn't think she did. But yeah, it's got everybody kind of like, what the hell? Unless you're there, you don't know what's really going on in this moment. Alicia, why did you do this, sir? Because you're a punk.
Grand Rising, Miss Sislo, Mama Sislo, and we got Stinson. Hey, ladies.
Hey,
Grand Rising.
hey,
Grand
everybody.
Rising, good people. You know I love you on purpose, and it ain't nothing y'all could do about it.
Love you too, Miss
So,
Sislo.
well, this is something that I wanted to shed light on. Okay, so obviously they've stopped the stream, and because it's going to take him some time to discuss the plea deal with his lawyer, because there's a lot to break down, like all of the conditions of it, what he's going to have to do, what it entails, and everything. So you guys know that once, if he decides to take the plea deal, he's still going to have to get on the stand
Hmm.
and confess to everything that he's done.
I thought, okay, good to know.
That's the only way that they will accept the plea from him.
Okay.
He's not gonna say, "Oh, okay, I'll accept it and we'll go on with it." He's got to get on the stand and say, and the judge is gonna say, "Well, what are you pleading to? What did you do? You gotta tell me what you
Mhm.
did, tell me how you did it, and this and that." So he can't just say, "Oh, well, this is what I'll accept it and let me go on and do my." It's not work. It's not gonna work like that.
They'll still
Not to
proceed.
mention, pardon me.
They'll still proceed.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they'll still proceed, but now it's a trial.
Right. Right.
It will not be a trial. Now
Wouldn't be
it's up
me.
to whether, and now the judge can say, "Well, no, I don't believe. I believe that you're just trying to do this
Mhm.
to just get out of facing some serious time. So I'm going to deny your plea." And so he'll still have to go through a trial. So the judge, it's up to the judge whether she accepts the plea or not. But the lawyer is going to have to say, tell Eligio what he's got to do and what he's got to say in order to get that plea accepted. Now, with his narcissistic self, he might, "I ain't saying nothing. I ain't doing that." Okay, well, let's go with the trial. See, because it's his pride that might say, "Well, I didn't do this." And then you got the four stooges, or three and a half stooges, because we don't even know what the fourth one
Yeah,
is right
one's
now.
still locked up. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I hope she has a direct line to an IV and some psychotropic drugs right now, because that child needs real serious help. So
She did.
hopefully one of the reasons why she's not out yet is because she's probably in a
We,
psychological.
we gotta cut in. We gotta cut in. It says, hold on.
Their killers still walking free.
Give me 1 second, y'all. Tracy says they declined it and that he's facing life on the rape charge and 10 years on the other charges. He denied the deal. Okay,
He
guys,
denied
we're
it.
getting caught up. He denied it, is what they're
Denied
saying.
it. Thank you, Tracy 504. Thank you.
Finally caught. Now
Yeah,
streaming free
I
on the
I'm
told
over
you, he
here
got
on the
more.
website. I don't see them live on YouTube yet.
The HBCU Legacy
Hunter
Bowl is
says
this
he's going
Saturday.
on
I'll
with the
be live
trial.
on the scene,
Worker.
but how about we list some players to watch?
Okay, let me turn this over here, y'all.
He's going on with the trial. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, she said they denied it, but they're not live on.
No,
I'm
it
on
cut
their
to
website.
something else. It cut to some old dude sitting in a chair talking about another case. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, see, okay, here we go, I think.
Okay, you guys go ahead. I had to get back to
It's good to
work.
hear from you, Miss Slow. I
It's
remember
always good to hear from you. It's always good. And I figured he wasn't going to accept it because he didn't want to get on the stand and say, "Well, he did
Yeah,
this and that."
and it's typical for him to pull a move like this.
Right. Oh, I love you guys. I'll be watching.
All right, you have a good
All
one.
right. Later for now.
You want me to drop down lurker so y'all can continue
No,
streaming?
you can stay up if you want.
No.
Thank you
You
for
guys are all
coming up,
welcome to
Miss
stay up here.
Flo. Please stay.
Give me 1 sec. I'm going to share this screen with you. This lady's
Find
talking
it.
about, I don't know.
Did you find it, love?
I don't see the actual thing on YouTube though. I'm
The
on the
link I
website.
sent you in the private chat, it's on.
Oh, okay. Let's go there then. Let me close these out, guys. My bad.
Thank you guys for sticking around.
Mm-hmm.
We have these.
They're back. They're back.
Okay. I'm sharing it. Yep. Here we go. They denied it.
Ooh, typical Eligio behavior when it gets
Outstanding.
I know we have a jury waiting, but it is as he's over here getting his life. And certainly, he's a young man. He wants to have some additional time. I'm not sure which or pleasure with that.
Well, all right, I'll give you until 10:30, but let me just put on the record. The case has been delayed initially because my understanding, Mr. Bishop refused to come out with shackles. He has since fortunately changed his mind, as I've instructed his counsel that we would proceed in his absence if he refused to come out with the shackles. It is a safety issue. Then we started discussing the plea issue. So it's been a little over an hour that we have been dealing with these matters, and that has delayed the start of the trial. I understand it is your life. I will give you 10 more minutes to talk about this, but at 10:30, the jury is come. The jury, you should talk to your attorney. Promise. Don't just talk to your attorney. At 10:30, the jurors are coming out. They're going to be sworn, and we're going to begin the trial of this case. And that's it. Once the witness testifies, as the state said, the deal's off the table. So we got to get moving. And this case has been pending for 2 years, so we've had lots of time.
Get it together, Miss Stacy. Get them together.
Go ahead, go back there and talk.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
10 minutes.
She said the jury's coming out regardless.
She sure did. What's his problem? He don't want to come out in shackles? Is that what I heard?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
she said they've had too many. We're gonna rewind it because we missed it coming in.
And let's just make sure.
Okay, let's rewind a little bit, y'all. Just real quick, and then we'll give commentary because they said he only got 10 minutes, so they'll be right back. So if this ain't a motherfucking show, baby.
In
Ciao.
true Nature Boy fashion. Oh my God.
This is some fuckery in true Nature Boy fashion. Hey, Con Unleashed, how you doing, sir? He denied it, Con. He already denied it. Well, I don't know. They said give him 10 more minutes. Tracy wants the link to what? To come up here? Okay, hold on.
Okay, thank you.
Wow.
Here you go, Mama. Let's listen to the judge get them together.
That he's declining the offer on the record.
Now that's the prosecution right there. Okay.
Yes, that's a prosecution.
Uh-huh. I'm on the edge of my seat. Look at him.
Who the fuck he's smiling at?
He thinks he's going to get to the people. That's what he's thinking. If I give him a nice wave and a smile, they'll
All right,
hit.
Mr. Bishop, I understand you've now been given some more time to consider the state's offer from this morning. It's my understanding that you want to decline the offer and proceed with trial? Okay, and you had enough time to talk about it with your attorney before making this decision? Is that yes? And you understand that if convicted, what the maximum penalties are for each of the offenses? Well, Mr. Coveney, can you come on the record again?
It's life for the rape charge, and
Okay.
then the other charges have 10 years for the false imprisonment, 5 years for 2 of the revenge porn counts, and 12 months for the other.
And is it life with possibility of parole, without possibility of parole, or is that not? Or
That's a discretionary thing for the court.
Exactly, yeah.
okay, so there is a possibility of life without possibility of parole. There is a chance that that could be.
That is within the range
Within
of
the-
sentencing
within the range.
options to the court, yes.
So I just want to make sure, Mr. Bishop, you understand the maximum is actually life without the possibility of parole. Do you understand that? It's not just life. That's why I want to make sure you understand it. I'm ready to go forward, happy to have this trial. I just want to make sure you are clear on what the maximum is.
He's clear on the maximum, Judge. He hadn't considered the life without possible parole. Mr. Bishop has had some time to talk to me about this morning. The plea negotiations have been what I would call fluid. We've been working through some things. There were a couple pieces that were hang-ups regarding whether it would be an outward plea versus
we're gonna go forward with the trial. I just wanna make sure he understands that the maximum is not just life, but it's life without the possibility of parole. Mr. Coveney?
Well, there were just two other brief matters that will
Go
take
ahead.
all of 2 minutes to go over. One, the state's prepared to demolish debate. It's in the courtroom behind the witness stand. I showed it to counsel this morning. It's my understanding there's no objection. I just wanted that.
Will you take it down for now, because I have to swear them in and give them the preliminary instruction, and then you can put it up before the openings, please? I don't want them looking at that when I'm talking to them.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Are we back live? I had to stop
I
for
believe the
a
court
minute.
invoked the rule of sequestration yesterday.
No, I just rewound it.
There are several individuals that, from my understanding, are on the defendant's witness list. I do not know whether or not they will actually be called as witnesses, but I believe they're in the present in the courtroom.
Read off their names, please. And folks, if you hear your name being called, you need to step
Tracy
outside
said they're
the
back.
courtroom and wait until you testify. You're also not to watch any of the testimony from any source of media streaming or anything like that. Okay, make sure that's clear.
Okay, we're back live. Hold on. Let's give it just a second, y'all. The judge is on it. We are just a few seconds behind on the live. Let me scroll up.
Does he come out in chains? Because if he comes out, yeah,
Got no chains on.
yeah,
What
he
shoes?
did.
What was them shoes? This boy get on my fucking nerves. And this courtroom is small. All right, y'all. We got action.
We're back.
All right, we can go ahead and bring the jury in.
Yeah, so we can just reflect that. I think the defendant had an additional 8 minutes or so to consult with counsel.
I gave him 10. He took 8. Okay, make sure that's clear. Okay.
You gave him 10.
Okay. All right. So yes, he had an additional 8 minutes, and then you came out and you advised us that he wants to go forward with the trial. Is that correct? Okay. All right. Very good. I just didn't want the record to look like I shorted him.
You did not short him.
Okay.
You were generous with that.
Okay.
Richard, hi, Sister Mary. Nice to see you.
Remember, no photos of any jurors.
Y'all, and I apologize for the audio of the court. It's not the greatest. This would be best listened to with headphones or Bluetooth device.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not Lurker, it's the courtroom.
Yeah, I apologize. He's looking for the Dusties. Oh, yes, show us the courtroom.
Those are the people on Eligio's side.
So he's got 3 people.
It's very bare. I think he's part of council, maybe.
Yeah, he's too professional. That suit and briefcase, so too.
He looking like, why you got me on camera, bro? I do not want to be associated with this.
Oh, here come more.
Hey, Mean Mug.
Who is this?
And you know he got more people outside, so
I saw them. Yep, with their little signs.
Hey, me mug.
We know, Sean. We know. That's okay.
Joe,
I didn't realize he was facing life. I didn't realize he was facing freaking life. No parole. That's wild. And this nigga's not taking the plea?
I didn't know that either. I really didn't.
Oh my goodness.
Today, when I tell you I'm on the edge, I'm on the edge. I can't believe it's happening like this. It's wild.
This is crazy. And Cuzzo put in the chat earlier, Cuzzo, I don't know if you're still here. Yes, she is. Cuzzo put in the chat, and she wanted him to get 80 years, asking you shall receive. Mean Mug, life with no parole, not just life. Because life is 25 years, and then you can parole out. Life with no parole. They talking about life. I don't agree with that. Well, because he's got other crimes to own up to. So this, maybe not for this charge in particular, but for the karmic debt.
Have you heard the testimonies?
Yeah, well, I read some. I didn't
Oh.
hear them, but I read some of the testimonies. I had some documents sent.
Yeah.
And I did read through some of them. Yeah.
It's so bad. I mean, we knew it was bad, but when you take a look at it, it really puts it into perspective.
Well, and we forget, right?
Yep.
It's been years because he's been in jail for 2 years, but it's been years. So it really opens up old wounds. It started to do that with Loyal.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
When Loyal passed away and I was going through some old clips, it opened up some old wounds. So yeah, we tend to forget, right? Because time heals wounds.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little emotional reading Syrians. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I read some of it, but once I got to the deep part, I was like, yeah, no, I want to wait for trial so I can see and hear and feel it firsthand, first time. Because for some reason, I know Eligio, he's not like, I think Mr. Slow said when she was up here, he's not willing to sit down in that stand and say, yes, I did all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
He's not willing to do that. Now, if they would have let him stay in the back and sign it, walk away, he would have did that. He would have did that shit all day. Leave people hanging,
Yep.
roller coaster rides, but he didn't have that opportunity. He had to come out and face his peers and admit to his wrongdoing. It looks like they're going back. And
It's unmuted.
We're back. Oh, I did it just for a second. I know. Here, and we're a few seconds behind, so let's go off. Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah, hold on.
There will be sometimes periodically where that may happen during the trial, so I just ask that you be patient with us during that time. All right, we are now ready to begin the trial of this case. A couple preliminary matters. You've been given those purple tags. You're to wear those throughout the duration of the trial so that they will identify you as jurors in this case and hopefully lessen the possibility of anybody talking about the case in your presence or attempting to talk to you about the case. So that's why we have those for you. It's especially important when you're outside during the lunch break. Also, the lawyers and parties aren't going to talk to you. They're not being rude. They just know we always have to avoid any appearance of impropriety. So please know that that's the reason. If they see you out there and they look away or do not acknowledge you, they're not being rude. It's just my instruction. All right. Prior to me giving you the preliminary information, I need to give you your final juror oath. So if you would please stand one last time. Raise your right hand.
Kiss, you're in the background, Queen, but your device is not connected, babe.
Do each of you swear or affirm that you shall well and truly try the issue formed upon this bill of indictment between the state of Georgia and Eligio Bishop, who is charged with the offenses of rape, false imprisonment, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions, 3 counts of that, 1 count of rape, 1 count of false imprisonment, and a true verdict give according to the evidence, so help you God. Okay, thank you. You all can be seated. Now, before we start the trial, I'm going to go over some basic principles.
She just swore the jury in.
I will explain my role, your role, and the lawyer's role. And finally, I'll tell you how the trial will proceed. Many of you have not served on a jury before, so this should help you understand how a trial works and what is expected of you throughout the trial. You have been selected and now sworn to try the criminal case of the state of Georgia versus Eligio Bishop. The DeKalb County Grand Jury has indicted the defendant for the following crimes, which I will read to you now. Count 1. Grand jurors aforesaid in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia charge and accuse Eligio Bishop with the offense of rape in violation of OCGA 16-6-1A. or the said accused person in the county of DeKalb and state of Georgia on or about the 24th day of March 2022 did unlawfully have carnal knowledge of Janae Newell, a female, forcibly and against her will, contrary to the laws of said state, the good order of peace and dignity thereof. Count 2, false imprisonment. The grand jurors aforesaid in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia charge and accuse Felicio Bishop with the offense of false imprisonment in violation of OCGA 16-5-41. For the said accused person in the county of DeKalb and state of Georgia on or about the 24th day of March 2022 in violation of the personal liberty of Janae Newell did unlawfully confine said person without legal authority. Count 3, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions. Grand jurors aforesaid further charge and accuse Felicio Bishop with the offense of prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions in violation of OCGA 16-11-90B for the said accused person in the county of DeKalb and state of Georgia on or about the 27th day of March 2022 without the consent of Janae Newell, the depicted person, did unlawfully cause the electronic posting of a certain video with a length of 56 seconds with the knowledge that it depicted sexually explicit conduct of Janae Newell, an adult, for the purpose of harassment, and such videos serve no legitimate purpose to the person depicted. Count 4, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions. The grand jurors aforesaid further charge and accuse Felicio Bishop with the offense of prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions in violation of OCGA 16-11-90B for the said accused person in the county of DeKalb and state of Georgia on or about the 27th day of March 2022 without the consent of Jane Newell, the depicted person, did unlawfully cause the electronic posting of a certain video with a length of 28 seconds with the knowledge that it depicted sexually explicit conduct of Janae Newell, an adult, for the purpose of harassment, and such videos serve no legitimate purpose to the person depicted, this offense constituting a second or subsequent violation of this law. And count 5, grand jurors further charge and accuse Felicio Bishop with the offense of prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions in violation of OCGA 16-11-90B for the said accused person in the county of DeKalb and state of Georgia on or about the 27th day of March 2022 without the consent of Janae Newell, the depicted person, did unlawfully cause the electronic posting of a certain video with a length of 1 minute and 8 seconds with the knowledge that it depicted sexually explicit conduct of Janae Newell, an adult, and for the purpose of harassment, and such videos serve no legitimate purpose to the person depicted, this offense constituting a second or subsequent violation of this law. Contrary to the laws of said state, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof, signed District Attorney Sherry Boston. The defendant has pled not guilty to this indictment and he denies every charge in it. The indictment and the defendant's plea of not guilty present the issue that you have been sworn to decide. The indictment is the way the defendant is charged with committing crimes that violate the laws of Georgia. The charges in the indictment and the plea of not guilty are not evidence of guilt, and you may not conclude that the defendant is guilty based upon the charges or the not guilty plea. The defendant is presumed to be innocent until he's proven guilty. The defendant begins the trial with a presumption of innocence in his favor, and this presumption stays with him until it is overcome by the state with evidence that convinces you beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of the crimes charged. You may not convict the defendant of any crime unless each element of the crime is proven beyond a reasonable doubt. The burden of proof is on the state to prove every essential element of the crimes charged in the indictment beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant has no burden at all. No burden of proof at all, and the burden never shifts to the defendant to prove his innocence. However, the state is not required to prove the guilt of the defendant beyond all doubt or to a mathematical certainty. A reasonable doubt means just what it says. It is a doubt of a fair-minded, impartial juror who is honestly speaking the truth. It is a doubt based upon common sense and reason. It does not mean a vague or arbitrary doubt, but it is a doubt for which you can give a reason based on consideration of the evidence or lack of evidence, a conflict in the evidence, or any combination of these. After considering all the facts and circumstances of this case, if your minds are wavering, unsettled, or unsatisfied, then that is a doubt of the law, and you must find the defendant not guilty. But if no reasonable doubt exists in your minds about the defendant's guilt, then you may convict the defendant. If the state does not prove the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, your duty would be to find the defendant not guilty. My role is to determine the law that applies to this case. Then I will instruct you on the law that you must apply to the facts in reaching a verdict. I'm giving you some of these instructions now, and I will give you more detailed instructions at the conclusion of the trial. You, the jury, have a very important role. You must decide the facts of the case from the evidence presented and then apply the law that I give you to those facts. Evidence is how a fact is proved or disproved. Evidence can be either testimony or exhibits. Testimony is what you hear from people who take the witness stand and swear to tell the truth. However, the questions the lawyers ask the witnesses are not evidence. Exhibits are documents, photographs, and other physical items that may be admitted during the trial. Now, the object of the trial is to discover the truth. During the trial, I will either admit or exclude evidence according to the rules of evidence. These rules are designed to aid in discovering the truth by making sure you consider only the best and highest evidence. The lawyers are advocates for their clients, and they have a duty to represent their clients to the best of their ability. They must follow the rules of law, trial procedure, and evidence during the trial. They may make motions or objections if they believe that any rule is not being followed. Please remember that what the lawyers say in making or responding to these objections is not evidence. I will either admit or exclude the evidence according to these rules. If the lawyers make an objection and I overrule it, that means the evidence is admitted and you may consider it. On the other hand, if I sustain the objection, that means the evidence is excluded from the trial and you may not consider it. You should only consider that testimony and those exhibits that are admitted. You should not assume or infer anything about evidence which I may have excluded. If you happen to hear or see evidence that I end up excluding from the trial, you must disregard it entirely in your deliberations and in arriving at your verdict. None of my decisions and nothing that I say or do during this trial is evidence. My decisions and remarks do not mean that I favor or lean to one side or another in this case. I'm only interested in seeing that this case is tried fairly based on the laws and the Constitution of the state of Georgia and the Constitution of the United States. Sometimes I may need to deal with the lawyers' motions or objections without you being here in the courtroom, and if so, I will excuse you to the jury room. We will try to limit such interruptions, and we ask you to please be patient when they do happen. So the trial will proceed as follows. First, the attorneys can give what is called an opening statement. No attorney is required to make an opening statement, and the opening statements are not evidence. They are simply an introduction to the evidence, a preview or outline of the expected evidence. The state goes first because they have the burden of proof. The second phase is the presentation of the evidence, and the third phase is the closing argument or summation. The attorneys may give closing arguments or summations where they discuss the law that applies to the case and how they believe you should consider the law in light of the evidence. They may also point out evidence that they believe supports their position. Remember, what the lawyers say in closing arguments is not evidence. The goal of a closing argument is to persuade you to decide the case in their favor. And the fourth phase is the jury charge, and that is me explaining to you the specific law that applies to this case. We will then send you to the jury room to begin your deliberations and to reach a verdict. It is important that you pay close attention during this trial. If at any time you cannot hear or see any evidence, or if you are suffering from any discomfort that may distract you, please raise your hand to get my attention and let me know. And we will do everything we can to make sure you.
Kiss, is that you, Queen? Testing real quick. Kiss, baby. You're on mute, so we hope it's you, Kiss.
Don't mute me.
Kiss. I don't know if that's Kiss. Is that Kiss? Can you confirm real quick, babe? You're on mute.
Put an overlay up real quick. If you got one. I'm
We
sure.
Let's private
see.
chat. Yeah, okay, that's her. That's her. Okay, thank you, baby. Okay, thank you, Mama. We're just making sure. We didn't want to get in trouble.
You can hear and see the evidence and give it your undivided attention. If you need a break at any time, also raise your hand and let me know. Also, one of the jurors, I recall, has an eye issue. Okay. If it would help you to sit in the front row near the TV displays, because the evidence will be projected on the screen, then I would just ask that one of the jurors switch seats with you so you could be able to see as best as possible. Okay. All right. Now, if you can see it okay from where you are, then we're fine, but if it helps you to be closer, you can see that, okay, very good. All right, jurors are not allowed to question witnesses. If you have a question that comes up in your mind while the evidence is being presented, please keep in mind that you have not heard all the evidence, and your question may very well be answered by the time the rest of the evidence is presented. You should consider the evidence with an open mind, and you should not reach any final conclusions until the trial is over. Do not jump to any conclusions before all the evidence is presented. Now, to maintain the integrity of the jury system, I remind you that you must decide this case based only on the evidence submitted during the trial and the law I will explain to you. You may not conduct any research on your own about this case or about any people or places mentioned during the trial. You may not visit any places mentioned in the evidence. You may not refer to any books or documents that were not admitted during the trial. You may not use dictionaries or other reference materials to look anything up. You may not use Google, YouTube, or any other internet, I don't even know what the word would be, internet access, websites, blogs, or anything else, or any electronic devices or any electronic media to get any information about this case. Nor should you use any of these sources to get information about legal terms or about the law. And finally, you may not read or listen to any accounts of this trial that may appear in the news, on TV, on the radio, online, in print, or in any other fashion. And again, you'll be subject to penalties for contempt of court if you violate these instructions. Remember, you are the ones who have been qualified as fair and impartial jurors to decide this case. No other influence should affect your decision. For that reason, you may not discuss this case with anyone, including family and friends, or let anyone discuss this case with you or around you. This includes discussing or sharing information by email, texting, blogging, or any form of social media. Until actual deliberations begin, that is, and after you've heard all the evidence, the lawyer's closing arguments, and the law that applies to this case, you may not discuss this case even among yourselves, in the jury room during any breaks, recesses, or anywhere else. Now, we've given you notepads and pens, so you can take notes if you would like. You're not required to, but you are certainly welcome to. If you do take notes, please remember to not let your note-taking distract you from paying full attention to the evidence and to the witnesses. And also, you may not share or discuss your notes with anyone until you start deliberating at the conclusion of the trial. Notes are evidence. Notes are not evidence. They are simply memory aids. They are not more important than your own impression or memory of what the evidence may have been. While you may consider during deliberations another juror's notes to refresh your memory, you should rely on your own memory of the proceedings. Do not be influenced by the notes of other jurors unless their notes help you in determining your own independent memory. You must leave your notes in the jury room except when you're in the courtroom, and they will be secured in chambers overnight, and so nobody will have access to them. And they will be shredded at the end of the deliberations. This is really important. You will not get a transcript of witnesses' testimony. So you're going to have to remember, in whatever way works best for you, what the witnesses said on the stand. So during deliberations, if you have a question comes up, well, what did the witness say about such and such? And you ask, I'm going to tell you, you have to remember the testimony based on your collective recollection. There is no transcript available to you. All right. I think those are the I have. So we are ready now to proceed with the opening statements, and the state gets to go first. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine.
Good morning. The thread that runs through this entire story, really from the very beginning, is a desire, a thirst for knowledge, something on a spiritual level, something that transcends eras, cultures, distance. young people experiencing and coming out into the world on their own for the first time, longing for a kind of knowledge, spirituality, of belonging. Eligio Bishop promised that. He promised that he had all of the answers to all of their questions, the answers to their prayers, and that he
Hey, Kiss.
Hello, it's me. I'm just sitting in the background. I just wanted to listen.
Okay, do you want to stay in the backstage, babe?
Yeah. You can put me backstage for now because I'm driving. I just want to listen.
Okay, mama.
he alone showed them what they could be, in tune with nature, living off the land, a communal sort of paradise. Janae Newell first saw Eligio Bishop and his group in a restaurant where she worked. She was 22. It was about 2018. She was intrigued. The way they dressed, the way they talked, they seemed so genuine. She kept in touch with the defendant online, and she was planning a trip overseas to Bali. Instead, she left home and joined the defendant's group. At first, it was everything Janae had hoped. The sense of community and the idyllic tropical locations masked the trouble brewing. His word was law. Some of the rules didn't make sense. They couldn't use the bathroom inside. They only ate when he was hungry. He chose who they could date or with whom they could sleep. When somebody disobeyed a rule or was having a bad day or did anything to upset the defendant, they became the enemy, the scapegoat, the focus of his ire. They were the problem, and the group followed the defendant. As they traveled around from Decatur, Mexico, Hawaii, California, Belize, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, and finally back to Decatur, things only got worse. It became power for power's sake, and he held all of the power. Janae left. She flew back to Georgia, but she was still longing for something, for belonging, and things at home really weren't going all that great. And for a time, she resorted to selling her body. And after a while, after watching the group from afar online, Janae went back. This time, they were in Puerto Rico. Janae noticed that things were more volatile, more violent. She stayed for a while, and then she left again for a second time. Janae went back for the last time in 2021. The group was in Decatur at a home on Arbor Chase. There were about 20 members staying there at the time. Now, one thing about the group, when a person joined this group, they were given a new name. And so during trial, you will hear folks referred to by their legal name, and you will also hear them referred to by the name they were given in the group. And this is confusing, I know. We have created a demonstrative aid, basically just a big whiteboard, that lists several of the people you will probably hear about this week. And you may want to take notes as well if that's easier for you so you're not glancing over there. But Janae Newell, she was known by Natiri. So you may hear Janae referred to as Janae. You may hear her referred to as Natiri. Kendra Carter, whom you will hear from this week, Kendra went by Sheba. Brianna was Syrian. Velvet was Nana. Aaron Dixon, he went by True or Ace. You will hear from all of them this week. Courtney Townsend went by Solar. You may also hear about some other members. Portia Wade goes by Aya. Tanisha Dulay is Malia. Kayla Buckner is Ephraim, and so on. Another thread that runs through this case is power. This defendant's desire to maintain power over the people in his group. How he accomplished that, and what he did with that power and control. By 2021, when Janae was back in the group, she will tell you the defendant would get angry over the smallest thing. He would order one member to hit another member. He lashed out at Miss Dulé, Malia, one time when she tried to leave. What you will hear from all of the former members who testified this week, from Aaron, from Kendra, from Janae, Brianna, and Velvet, from all of them, you will hear that there was this atmosphere of fear and violence within the group, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Who was going to be next? Power, accomplished through the ever-looming threat of physical violence. The second part of that practice, though, what the defendant did with that power. The answer to that, the evidence will show, is sex. You will hear, again from the former members, that this defendant had his choice of the women in the group. It was understood. Nobody said no to the king, to God, to him. You will hear from Janae, from Kendra, from Brianna, what he did and how he did it. And all this time, from 2018 to 2021, as it turns to 2022, all of this time he is fostering an us against them attitude. The outside is hell, he said. They don't understand. They are out to get us. So separated from all loved ones, family and friends, reliant on him for every meal, shelter, affection, community, not surprisingly at work. When the defendant's anger was focused on one, the others piled on. When he ordered one to hit another member, they complied. When he demanded sex from Janae, or demanded that she allow him to film it, she went along. Now I want to be clear. Janae went back to the group multiple times. There were times that there was consensual sex between Janae and this defendant. And obviously, it will be obvious to you, obviously she cared very deeply about him for a period of time. His name was tattooed on her body. And she did allow him to film her. That all happened. But it happened in this broader context. That matters. And I think it will matter to you in this case. In late March of 2022, Janae had become a little disillusioned, a little unsure about the group. It was nighttime, March 24th, 2022, and it was another of his long, long talks. They were sitting downstairs, and Janae just wasn't feeling it. And her face showed it. He told Zoka, Jayon, that she should keep Janae in line. It was understood what that meant. And a little while later, something happened. Janae made another face or something. And Jayon smacked Janae. He didn't stop it. It was Janae's fault. Her turn to be the scapegoat, the them in this ever-present us against them. At his urging, implicit or explicit, Jayon smacked Janae again and again. He ordered Janae on her knees, and Jayon smacked her again. Janae had enough. She was leaving again, and she said as much. And nobody stopped her, at least at first. She got her bag, started to pack a few things, retrieved some of her art that was stored in a shed outside, and she said some goodbyes. The Uber was waiting outside. There was some dispute about a phone charger as she's walking out the door. Then someone said, "The king is calling. Will you answer the king's call?" And Janae did. She asked the Uber to wait. This would only take a second. She walked upstairs to say her final goodbye. When Janae reached his room, he grabbed her in his arms and literally would not let her go. She was crying, and she told him she had to leave, but he would not let her go. He asked for sex one last time. She told him no. She had to leave, but he would not let her go. He asked again and again. She said no, again and again. He put her on the bed. She told him no. She had to leave, but he would not let her leave. He asked again, one last time. And finally, after countless times of saying no, realizing she wasn't leaving that room unless she gave in, she said, okay. They started having sex and she pushed him off. But even then, he would not let her leave. He flipped her over and penetrated her from behind as she was crying. Janae escaped the next morning before anyone woke up. She went to her friend Kelly's art studio, then to a shelter and on from there. She never went back. In the meantime, on March 28th, Janae received messages online asking if she was back in the group. She was confused. She realized they thought she was back in the group because 4 videos have been posted to the defendant's Twitter account showing him and Janae having sex. He posted these videos on March 27th, after Janae had escaped. The evidence will show he posted these videos without Janae's consent for the purpose of harassing her. Yes, the videos depict consensual sex well before Janae left. And yes, Janae probably knew that the defendant was reporting the sex. And they may have been online before, but they were posted on March 27th without Janae's consent for the purpose of harassing Janae. Go back to power, that thread that runs throughout this case. The evidence will show his attempt to maintain that power, to demonstrate that power, even after Janae escaped. The final overarching thread that runs through this case is the online presence and life that many of these young people live. Much of the day-to-day lives of this group were streamed online, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Bigo. And many of the former members that will testify this week still maintain large online presences today. As the former members will tell you, what happened in the group actually happened. This wasn't acting for the cameras or the clicks. The violence was real. The emotional manipulation was real. And the tense threat of looming violence was real. In addition to Janae, you will hear the stories of Kendra Carter, who joined the group in late 2018, of Brianna Jacobs, Aaron Dixon, and you will hear from Velvet Marquette. For a while, Velvet was married to the defendant. They have a daughter together. She was in the group for a while, up until about 2020, and you will get to hear her story. At the end of this case, after you have heard all of the evidence, the judge will instruct you on the law that applies to this case, including the law that sexual intercourse obtained through fear or intimidation is not consensual. After you have heard all of the evidence, which includes the testimony of witnesses, we will once again address you and ask that you return a verdict which speaks the truth, the guilty verdict.
Thank you, Mr. Earl.
Thank you, Judge. One last gentleman. In March of 2022, that is the date that this alleged incident happened. The state just spent a lot of time talking to you about a lot of things, but they didn't talk to you about March 24th, 2022. That's what you're deciding on. Not what happened in 2021, 2020, or any time before that. They're going to avoid March 24th, 2022. March 24th, 2022, Janae Newell, who is the alleged victim in this case, alleges that this young man here, Elijah Bishop, raped her. The judge is going to tell you what rape means, but that he penetrated her against her will and with force. That's what she said happened on March 24th, 2022. That she also was falsely imprisoned by Elijah Bishop, meaning that she was not allowed to leave. Okay? That's what the state has proved you. Not about anything that happened anywhere else, not about other people, but it's what happened between him and her on March 24th, 2022. And I'm going to ask as you go through this trial that you listen and focus on that day. Because right now, this is going to be a can't see the forest for the trees type of case that the state has presented to you. Additionally, there are charges for revenge porn, for posting something on the internet in order to essentially embarrass her or harass her. So let's go back and look at March 24th, 2022. This defendant, along with some other people, were living in a house. This essentially was a polygamous relationship. This defendant had a woman that was considered to be his queen, and then there were other women that were there as well. We're not here to hide it from you. That's not what he's charged with, okay? Now, on March 24th, 2022, Janae Newell indicated, based on what she told law enforcement, that she wanted to leave the house. And so she wrote text messages on that day that will be evidence. But other things that are going to be extraordinarily relevant about March 24th, 2022 is her interview with law enforcement and the different things that she did. So on March 24th, 2022, she ended up leaving the house the next morning, which was the 25th. Okay. But on that day, between the time she talks to law enforcement, which is not until April of the next month, essentially, 2 weeks later, she gives an interview to law enforcement. She never actually tells law enforcement that Mr. Bishop raped her. What she did was she came down to the DeKalb County Courthouse and she attempted to get a misdemeanor warrant against Mr. Bishop. And in that misdemeanor warrant, she didn't say anything about being raped. She said that he had posted some videos online that she wanted him to take down. That was it. She never said anything about being falsely imprisoned because she had to make a sworn application in front of the judge in order to get a warrant taken out. So they scheduled a hearing. In that, there was never a single word about rape. She also gave an online interview with a YouTube interviewer, another person. In that interview, she described making love, is what she described. She used the words making love. And I know these are difficult terms to hear. We're adults, so we're going to have adult conversations. Rape, obviously, is a act that there is no love in. There is two people and an act happens, and one of them obviously doesn't want it. The other one forcibly does it. You cannot get further from that when you use the words making love. So in her interview that was recorded with YouTube, where she was interviewed by another person, she described going back into the house and that she and Mr. Bishop made love. Those were the words that she used. She additionally said that she believed Mr. Bishop was faking it, that he didn't really love her, but that he was faking being excited to have intercourse with her. Not a single word about rape, not a single word about false imprisonment. After that, she gives another interview, this time to police. And when she, in the first 5 minutes of the interview to police, she describes that they are making love. That's the words that she used. She does not use anything about rape. It's not until much further in the interview where the police ask her, well, was this consensual? And her words were, I don't know. She never says rape. She also speaks to Eva Wilson right after, on the night of the 24th, by text message and phone call. That was her substitute mother. And Eva Wilson asked her, hey, you know, what's going on? She never says anything about being raped. She never describes being forced to do anything. Simply put, she asked her if she could come and pick her up. This case is one where the goal of the state is to be able to show you a lot of other things, but you're to decide on March 24, 2022, whether a rape took place. Now, addressing false imprisonment. The state's going to say, and they're going to put in evidence, or try to, that Mr. Bishop falsely imprisoned her. And you just heard the state through his words, and his words and my words are not evidence. But you just heard the state say that she left the house, she had called an Uber. I can't imagine how you would be falsely imprisoned if you have the ability to call an Uber. But she alleged that she was being beaten by another person. And so because she was being beaten by this other person, she decided to leave. That's what he just said. She packed her bags. Nobody stopped her from packing her bags somehow. She was able to get her paintings out of the storage. Nobody stopped her from doing that. They don't even describe, according to what he just said, Mr. Bishop stopping her from doing anything. She gets outside to an Uber that she's somehow able to call. And yet she's been beaten so bad, according to her. When she gets out to the Uber, she decides that she wants to go back in and say goodbye to a person who allegedly has treated her so bad for so long. That's not false imprisonment. You don't want to go back inside and say hello to a person that has been a person has beaten you and mistreated you. So I ask that you pay attention to all those things. Additionally, the state just indicated in their opening statement that the videos that they are alleging that he posted subsequent to her leaving to harass her is what they're alleging, that those videos were actually posted before she left. It wasn't the first time these same videos were posted. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a complicated case, but it becomes extraordinarily complicated when we tie in a bunch of other stuff that doesn't have to do with March 24th, 2022. This case is about March 24th, 2022. And as you hear the questions that are asked of Ms. Newell from myself, from the state, and anybody else that's involved in it, focus on March 24th, 2022, and the statements that she gave to law enforcement, the statements that she made to her friends and family, the statements that she made by text message, the statements that she made to the magistrate court here in DeKalb County. Think about all those statements where she never says the word rape. She never says that she was forced to have sex. She never gives a description of what Mr. Covington just described to you at any given time before that. And I would venture to say that the state during this trial will never, before you put that in evidence, that at the end of the trial, all those things that I just told you, they won't put in evidence anything that controverts that, because that evidence doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. She described making love. And we're all, 14 of you guys are adults. You know there's a wide discrepancy from someone making love versus someone being raped. Now, the state asked you during the four-hour process, was it an issue with things being delayed? This is not about a delay. This is a totally different statement than rape. So please, as you listen to the evidence in this case, don't get lost on online persona. Don't get lost on multiple women being with Mr. Bishop. Don't get lost on what other people say. On this particular date, March 24th, 2022, at the end of this case, your minds will be unsettled and wavering, which law requires those to be satisfied in order for Mr. Bishop to be found guilty. And we're going to ask that you return a verdict of not guilty on behalf of each count for Mr. Bishop. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. All right. Call your.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
Around 2000.
We got a witness? We got a witness? I guess they can't film the witness. Okay, y'all, give us just a second. It's catching up. Oh my God.
How old are you today?
29.
And what do you do on a day-to-day basis these days?
I work. I serve at Chili's in North Carolina, and I take care of my daughter.
How old is your daughter?
7 months.
Do you know Eligio Bishop?
Yes.
How do you know him?
I met him online years ago, and I've been in his group for some time.
When did you first come to learn about Mr. Bishop?
Around 2017, when I saw him online with his group of people, just parading in nature.
And how old would you have been at that time?
I would say maybe my early 20s, 23.
Okay. And Sort of what was going on in your life at that point?
Around that time, I was embarking on my own spiritual journey. I kind of lost touch with myself around that time. I was going through a depression as well. Um, I left the church because of things going on in the church that I deemed to be, wasn't right for me. And I was looking for God. So when I found God, it was in nature, and it was through his teachings of going into nature, Eligio Bishop's teaching, going into nature.
So what was appealing to you at that point in your life about Mr. Bishop and what he could offer?
A lifestyle. It was about living in tune with self and the community, and about love and speaking righteously and being righteous, and also living with integrity and honesty.
And when did you leave home to go stay with Mr. Bishop?
I left home in 2020.
And at that point, where was the group?
The group was in Atlanta, Georgia.
And how old would you have been then?
Man, I would say around 25, 26.
When you first got to the group, were they in a house, an apartment, something else?
Yes, they were in a house.
Okay, approximately how many folks were there?
Like 20 people, around 20 people, 25.
Okay. And how was it? Like when you first got there, what were your sort of first impressions?
This was the people that I watched for years. So I was very excited, and everybody was very welcoming. I initially met the group before I got into the home.
Tell us about that. When did you meet them?
So I met them at a party because I was invited. But also before then, they walked into my job. I was working at a raw vegan restaurant in Atlanta called C.C.C Raw Reality. And since then, they told me to hit them up whenever.
So, hold on, I don't mean to interrupt, but all right, so you're working at a vegan restaurant, and what happens?
When I'm working at that vegan restaurant, they happened to walk in the men. It was him, Eligio Bishop, and the men. And they recognized me, and I went up and hugged some of the men. And Eligio Bishop also recognized me and tried to flirt with me and told me to call him while he was leaving. But I never did really call. But his members actually, encouraged me to come visit more. And, I even gave my phone to one of them because they needed phones and I had extra.
Okay, so you said they recognized you. Do you know where they recognized you from?
Absolutely, online. I was a part of the online base of people that, agreed with their teachings. I would say I was a part of their group online for quite some time, and I traveled to Thailand and just to live the knowledge that they spoke. So they noticed me from online.
And so from the time that you met in person in the restaurant to the time that you joined the group in Atlanta, about how much time passed in between those two?
Excuse me?
About how long was it between when you met with Mr. Bishop and the other men in the restaurant before you moved in with them?
I would say 2 to 3 weeks, maybe.
And did you have any other plans going on in your life at that time?
Yes, I was going to quit my job, which I did, and move to Bali, Indonesia to become a yoga teacher. I had the ticket booked and everything.
And what caused you to forego the trip to Bali to go with the defendant?
The members of the tribe was encouraging me to become a member of their tribe and just forget about my trip to Indonesia, just to become part of the family. They said it was part of my purpose. So.
And just so we're clear, when you say the tribe, what are you referring to?
Eligio Bishop's Club.
Do you remember, you said it was 2020, when you first moved in with them, what happened to like any personal belongings of yours?
Usually you share anything with the cult. You share anything with the tribe. Everything goes to a closet, or sometimes the men would take away their belongings. I remember that they search. First, they searched your belongings just to make sure you didn't bring anything that they didn't like or agree with. You know, they would throw away things if they don't agree with it, like some types of soaps or certain things. But yeah, it will be searched and put away.
And when you came, did you have any like personal documents with you, like your credit cards or things of that nature?
Yes, I did.
And what happened to those items when you entered the group?
Well, per se, for me, I for some reason I was able to keep mine, but however, I was told to give all my money to one of the members, which was a man. So I cashed out everything that I have.
Were you given a new name when you entered the group?
Judge, I'm gonna object to what this has to do with March 24th, 2022. I don't think it has relevance to it. I would ask that we get that.
Mr. Coveney?
The context is key, Your Honor, and I believe that intrinsic evidence is what is necessary to complete the telling of the story. All of this is intrinsic.
All right. Overrule the objection. You may continue.
Janelle, were you given a new name when you joined the group?
The first time, no. The first time I joined the group, no. I kept my name, which was Natiri.
Okay, how did you get the name Natiri?
I named myself.
And when did you, was that before or after you joined the group?
Before.
How would you, when you first joined the group, how would you describe Mr. Bishop?
When I first joined, he was very kind and he was very charismatic. Also the tribe, the cult, the tribe, they were also that way. I believe that he was very, caring at one point.
And were there rules in the group?
Yes, there were a lot of rules in the group. For one, the men weren't allowed to talk to the women and vice versa. And when I came in, it was very hard for me because it didn't make sense. So I made a complaint to Alethea Bishop, and he then went ahead and changed the rule around. But then after some time, possibly a week to a month, 3 weeks to a month, he changed it right back to women not being able to talk to the men.
What were the sleeping arrangements?
Everyone sleeps everywhere. There were people sleeping in the dining room, in the living room. Only Alethea was allowed to sleep in the master bedroom, though it wasn't his house. And all the other members were had even a couple. There was the times when we did have couples. The couples slept together, but Alethea had a set of women sleep with him only in that room.
And where did these rules come from?
Alethea Bishop.
Was anyone able to say no to the rules?
No.
What would happen if you did?
When you disrespect Alethea, you would be either go in the corner or around this time. This is around this time, what I saw, you would either go in the corner or do squats or be reprimanded or shunned. This was the first time I was there.
Were there rules related to romantic relationships?
Yes.
What were those rules?
At the time, the first time I was around, he would put people together. He would say that they have a choice, not necessarily in my particular situation that I had a choice, because my choice wasn't accepted.
What do you mean by that?
There was a male that I wanted to be with that was a part of the tribe, and the tribe was polygamous, so he was already with a woman, so I believe that I could be able to be with him, but he wouldn't allow that. He would just say that he's the only one that's supposed to be polygamous in the group.
So I just want to be clear, because you're using the word he. The man that you wanted to be with,
Townsend,
Okay.
but in the tribe, the cult, his name is Solar.
And so you wanted to be with Courtney, and who was it that was not allowing that to happen?
Eligio.
And why was that?
Response.
Do you, if I could rephrase the question.
Okay.
Do you know why?
Personally, no, but he
Okay.
would, always tell us that he's the king.
Oh, I can move on.
All right, sustain. Go ahead.
What did members of the group call Mr. Bishop?
He had many names.
Again, I'll object for purposes of relevance. It has nothing to do with March 24th, 2022, what people call him in the group.
It is absolutely relevant. It's intrinsic evidence. It goes to consent. It goes to all of that.
All right, overrule the objection. We'll come in.
What were some of the names that Mr. Bishop was known by within the group?
He was named Baba G, Poppy, King, Chief, Father Tahuti, and that's all I know.
How did the defendant refer to the world outside of the group?
Hell. It was hell for us.
Did he say why it was?
Judge, I don't object. It has nothing to do with March 24th, 2022. How his description of what happened in the world outside.
Same response. It does.
I'm going to allow the testimony, and if you want to have a standing objection to.
After court, they make a standing objection.
Of course. All right. Go ahead, but the intrinsic evidence and testimony is allowed.
Why did the defendant in this case refer to the outside world as hell?
I'm going to object as a question is based on speculation. Why he did this.
So I'll sustain that objection. Rephrase the question.
I'm sorry, did the defendant explain why the outside world is hell?
Yes, he did. He basically told us that the outside world was Babylon, and it was going to crash down, and Mother Nature is going to wipe it all out. But the chosen were able to stay with him, and the chosen are his disciples. So we consider ourselves his disciples and to follow him. He was the Christ.
Did he allow you to maintain communication with your family and friends outside of the group?
No.
When people left the group, how did he respond? When people left the group, how did the defendant respond to that?
He, when someone wanted to leave, we, as a tribe, would, when someone wanted to leave the tribe, they would be reprimanded by him and by the cult members. The members would tell them how they're wrong.
That would be hearsay based on the people who passed us.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. You can't talk about what other people may have said other than Mr. Bishop. Absolutely not. Okay.
So, how did Mr. Bishop respond when people left the cult? Not like what was said, but like what was his response?
He didn't like it, of course. Sometimes he would play off like we could leave. Other times he would just tell us mean things and call us names and tell us how wrong we are for leaving.
At some point, did you leave the group?
Yes, I left the group.
Okay, let's talk about the first time that you left the group. About how long had you been in the group when you decided to leave?
The first time I decided to leave, I believe I was in the group for about 5 months or so, 3 to 5 months.
And what happened, or did something happen that led to you wanting to leave?
Well, the first time I left is because I was voted out. And he told me, we had a meeting, and he was trying to tell me that me having feelings for another man was weak. And he should basically be the only one I should be wanting. So the tribe, the cult, went ahead and agreed with him to cast me out. And it was basically a test, like he likes to say. Um, Whenever we're told to leave, he expects us to fight for our right to be a part of his discipleship and a part of the chosen. So he would basically tell us, go ahead and go, you leave, go leave. And that's what happened the first time. I didn't take that as a test, though. I thought I was literally supposed to leave. So I made my arrangements and I left.
Where'd you go when you left?
I went back to my home in Atlanta.
About how long did you stay away from the group?
About 10 to 11 months.
When you were away, were you communicating with anybody within the group?
Yes.
Who was that?
Solar.
What drew you back to the group?
Solar.
And when you went back to the group, when you went there the second time?
No, I don't per se remember, but I remember the year. I believe it was in 2021.
Okay. Where were they at that point?
They were in Puerto Rico. And also, it wasn't just Solar that brought me back to the group. It was also Eligio Bishop.
Okay. Tell us about that.
One night at 5:00 a.m., I saw a message from Eligio Bishop. He told me that he had a dream, and he said that I was supposed to be with Solar. Now, around this time, me and Solar have been privately communicating. However, for some days I haven't heard from him. So Eligio decides to text me and said, come back home. You're supposed to be with this man. I had a dream. So the next day we had a call and he made arrangements for me to go back to Puerto Rico. He bought the flight and everything. So I made my way back to Puerto Rico in hopes and in expectations of being with the other man that I loved.
Had anything changed about the group while you were gone?
Yes, the location, of course, but the group got a bit more violent from the first time I've seen it.
What do you mean by that?
I would say that I heard.
Judge, I object. I don't know the relevance to that March 24, 2022.
Mr. Cudley? Believes that there's a standing objection on that ground. This is absolutely intrinsic. It is also covered by the court's pretrial ruling on one of the court's pretrial rulings.
Well, I think she could testify to what she actually witnessed it, but I think she's going to testify to what she heard someone else say. That's probably.
That's a different objection. Okay.
Agreed.
So again, you can testify as to what you saw, you observed, you experienced,
Yes.
but not what someone else told you happened.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you yourself observe, as in see or hear anything in Puerto Rico that led you to believe that there was violence in the group?
Absolutely, yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Okay, I can account for 4 times that I remember. For one, we was traveling around the islands of Puerto Rico, and we ended up being in some kind of Airbnb. What happened is that I seen him.
When you say him,
Eligio Bishop. I seen Eligio Bishop basically abuse one of the women that he calls his wives. This one was Aya, but what happened was he placed his head on top of her head and mushed her back to where she fell back. Then I saw him drag her into another room, and after that I heard a lot of banging and certain things. And he left the room very angry. He was very angry because she was upset with him, and he was speaking to her, say you're going to leave me, say you're going to leave me. And when I went into the room after the banging, just to check on her, she was on the floor crying and had cuts and bruises on her, open cuts and wounds. So I went to her and I grabbed the aloe off of the dresser and I covered her cuts.
in addition to that incident, were there
After that,
Was there anything else different about the group in Puerto Rico?
yes, the group had outside. The group had a downstairs, and there was an upstairs, and there was a home that only he was allowed to be in. The others had to be downstairs in tents or huts or whatever.
And was that different than the sleeping arrangements in Atlanta?
Yes, in Atlanta, we were in tents.
Were you allowed to be in a relationship with Solar when you went back?
No, he kept me away from Solar a lot. He basically told me that he only lured me back there for content, and it was all a hoax, that he was never going to let me be with him, and he was going to initiate a fight between me and the other woman that he wanted me to be against, which was his Solar's first wife.
Who's that?
Her code name is Zilka, but her name is Jayon Marine Hamilton.
Had the teaching changed, like the defendant's teachings?
Yes, absolutely.
How so?
It went from being a part of nature and being one with the all, and we are all gods and goddesses that walk the earth. Then it just went to him becoming the Almighty God, Jesus Christ, God figurehead. And we were all part of his mind. And we did not exist. And the only thing that exists was him.
How long did you stay that second time?
The second time I stayed a month.
Why did you leave?
I left for two reasons. For one, I was sick and tired of being stuck in the upstairs. He kept me away from the commune. And he went to Atlanta to party and do all these other things while he had me and another woman stuck up in the house doing nothing, just wasting away there. And I was growing tired of it. I remember once asking to go downstairs just to be with the community of people that I came to live with, and I wasn't allowed to. So I got upset with that and I left. And I started to feel horrible because I couldn't be with the person I wanted to be with in the first place. The second reason is because of the abuse that I heard the day I was leaving, made me push to go. He wasn't there, but one of his members abused one of his wives there. And I heard the whole thing, the screaming, the traumatic, everything.
So that was when Mr. Bishop was not there, that was two other members fighting?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, I remember while I was in Puerto Rico, I remember another account that he's abused one of his women. I heard her screaming from the top of her lungs one night. And
who is that?
This particular one, her name is Malia. Her code name is Malia. Malia was screaming from the top of her lungs, saying, "I'm sorry." And it woke up everyone in the home. And all you can hear is him beating on her really, really bad. No one did anything. I froze. I didn't know what to do.
And when you left that second time, was the group still in Puerto Rico at that point?
Yes, they were still in Puerto Rico when I left, and then they traveled somewhere else after I left.
How long were you away from the group?
After that, I would say some months.
Some months?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember when you went back the last time?
I went back the last time, for the third time, December 26, 2022, or 21.
21?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Where was the group at that point?
The group was in Atlanta, Georgia.
And how, had anything changed about the group from the last time that you were there?
Yes, I believe that I thought they got better. The house was different, of course. There were no tents, but they were very much nice to me when I came the third time.
About how many people were living there at that point?
It was just him and his women, so I would say 5 women, and me.
Where were the guys?
The guys were in the Pennsylvania location. He has separated the women from the men again.
How long did that last?
That lasted some months.
Now that we sort of have the timeline set out, I want to talk about your personal relationship with the defendant.
Yes.
When you first joined the group, how would you describe your relationship with the defendant?
Friends. We were friends, but also he was the head in charge, so I was basically his disciple. And then he would make me his lover and take me and become his wife, one of his wives.
Did anything happen, or when was the first time that something happened that made you believe the defendant had a sexual interest in you?
Yes, it was weird, because I never looked at him that way. But when he told me, he said, I went to him and hugged him. That's what happened. I went to him and hugged him because I love to give hugs.
So let's put this on the timeline. Was this the first time you were in the group?
Yes.
Okay, about how long, do you know, like, was it right when you got there, a couple months, couple weeks?
It was some weeks. It wasn't right when I got there. Right when I got there, he was just, everybody was already coupled. He already had his chiefess there. Everybody was, in their relationships. Yeah.
Okay, so you said some number of weeks after you got there, tell us what happened.
I went up to him and hugged him, and he said to me, you might be ready to have sex with me soon.
And what happened next?
After that, I didn't know how to take that. But when I went ahead and asked any other member, it was looked at as a high honor to sleep with him. So, but I didn't take anything of it. I just brushed it off, I guess.
Did you eventually develop a relationship with the defendant?
I don't want to answer that question.
At some point, did the defendant and you have sex?
Yes.
And was that first time when he hugged you, or was it sometime after that?
Sometime after that.
And
I went upstairs, and sometime after that, that was the first hug. And then sometime after that, I went upstairs to hug him again after good night. Like I said, I'm a hugger. And he held me in his arms after that. And the women that was in there closed the door. And he basically ordered me to take a shower. And he set up his closet with lights and candles and incense and music. And around that time, I told him, well, I wanted to be with Solar. And I made that known to him that I wanted to be with another man. And he tried to convince me over and over how that wasn't going to work. And he's this big chief and he's this guy I should be with. Long story short, he basically was trying to convince me to have sex with him that whole time. And I was kind of scared because that was one of my biggest fears. At one point, I didn't want to sleep with him at all. It was scary. And he just told me, at one point, I couldn't open up to him as he was trying to come examine me. And he told me, it's because you're scared. You have to relax. And I breathed, and that's how that happened.
And did you share his desire for a sexual relationship?
No. I never wanted any sexual relationship with him.
And over the course of your time in the group, did you and the defendant have a sexual relationship?
Yeah.
And did you care about him? Is that yeah?
Yes.
During the course of your time in the group, did the defendant ever ask you to allow him to film the two of you engaged in sexual activity?
Yes.
And was that something that you were initially wanting to do?
No, absolutely not. I actually told him sometimes that I was uncomfortable with being recorded. But
How did he respond to that?
he doesn't. He just brushes off. Like he just tries to convince you how it's good and he likes it and it's for a bigger purpose and how it will grant attention and all this stuff.
Did he explain why he wanted to film?
Yes, the third time around when I was in the cult, he described it as sexual education. So he wanted to post these videos for the community to know how it is to have sex, I guess.
And was there ever any sort of like agreement that he could do whatever he wanted with these videos?
Yes, he always would have his phone. He always had the access to do whatever he wanted. It was never a question or doubt anyone should have with him.
But did you consent to allowing him to distribute these videos forever or just in the moment?
In the moment when I was there, I was definitely, I would say, brainwashed. And he would definitely convince me that it was for a bigger purpose, which we all wanted to be there for the bigger purpose. So for me personally, I thought I was doing something good.
The last time you went back and when you were in the group late 2021, early 2022, did you observe violence within the group at that point?
Like the last time?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
And did you ever observe the defendant be physically violent with any of the women in the group?
Yes. I'm going to tell you about two of them that I remember. One of them being the most gruesome would be with who he deems to be his queen, which is Malia. She got an attitude or was just feeling down one day while we all were together. It was just me and the women and him, Alihio Bishop, in the bathroom. Um, Malia was naked, as we all, we don't have a problem with nudity in the cult. So she was naked.
Hold on one second. Can you guys look at that? Please, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. We This is good, y'all. This is everything I wanted. Prosecutor coming with it. He's slow walking it too, making it make sense. We appreciate that.
Yes, he is crossing all I's, dotting all T's.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Jay Savage, I don't know. He was uptight yesterday about some language and some words being allowed. So he did try and object to certain words, but it is what it is. The volume is low. I don't know. They paused right now. Right now they have us on mute. And the volume, there's just nothing I can do. You guys are gonna have to turn it up.
Turn it up in your speaker. But I think they're at the judge talking right now, both the attorneys, because something about what she just said, witnessing people get beat up. She was getting ready to talk about Maria's abuse.
Oh,
There we
back.
go.
There's a charge like this that includes this.
Right. Yeah, I know I have it, but
You're welcome, Lady Steele. Thank you all for being here and working through what has been a roller coaster thus far. Just getting the trial started and whew, him pretending to take a plea and not. Janae's testimony so far. It's just been a lot. The judge seems to be pretty much over it at this point. Oh, you cut.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
They
Well,
really don't want her to talk about what happened to Malia. They really don't.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And I don't know why it keeps glitching or flashing. I'm gonna refresh real quick. But it's driving me.
Mm-hmm.
I might be neurodivergent, but that's something for another day. What y'all in here talking about? Jay Savage, I like that you come from a different point of view. I'm rocking with it. Thank you for hosting. Yep. That's right. That's what we're here to do, Kiss. I'm glad you're here too.
But yeah.
Okay. And shout out, what's up, Nikki Crayon? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all. I see y'all been hitting that like button too. Wow, thank y'all. Y'all are always looking out for us and we appreciate it.
I really do wish they would show us his reactions while he's talking, because I bet their price. I know it's hard for him to hold it together right now, especially when she said he thinks he's God. He's turned it into we are all a part of him. We're not real. I said, oh, she laying it on thick, baby.
Well, that's why I said I really like the back and forth. I like the way she's answering. And maybe it's because we've listened to her so long. So, I mean, she's not the most, whatever. She's getting the job done and she's doing a wonderful job. And I know this has been hard for her. So, kudos to you, Miss Janae, Miss Nateri. And he's slow walking it, but you have to for this situation because it's like a spider web dealing with this. It's the Brady Bunch on crack, right? It's the Lost Boys. You got so and so, so and so, so and so. You know, yeah.
Yeah, it's just too much.
Listen, the judge is doing, yeah, she's allowing it. I don't know. She seems a little bit irritated because they keep stalling. And I'm not exactly sure in specific why they're hung up. What does she say in specific? I mean, she's testifying to what is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. What she's witnessed. Who are these people? How did you when you go to somebody an assault or a rape or someone, so they're going to ask the victim, well, how did you know so and so? I mean, that's just, that builds up to motive, that builds up to, what were you even doing? Who is this person? Yeah.
But I think going to Jay Savage's comments of, the cult argument, why is Mr. Booker allowing that? They have a cult expert as a witness. So I'm assuming, and you know how that word goes, making ass of yourself, but they've already tried to argue this. And I think that was one of the motions yesterday after jury selection was the language that would be used in court. And I think ultimately he lost that motion. I think he did because he was arguing that the state should be charging him with a misdemeanor, not a felony,
Mm-hmm.
due to the
Mm-hmm.
language that they're using. That he's not the actual perpetrator, but the coercer, and that none of the things that Janae is trying to testify about have to do with the night in question on trial, which I
Right.
understand. He's his attorney is doing his job, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think his objections have been somewhat fair, and he's drilling in the date, right? Just the
Mhm.
date.
Yeah,
What does that have to do with March 24, 2022?
right.
Mm-hmm.
And the
So,
prosecution doing their job in a sense of, well, this is why, because we have to paint the picture and to let you guys know who these people are, what they go through on a day-to-day basis. Um, why we're telling you that we're charging him with, basically with holding her hostage.
mm-hmm.
So they have to prove why they're charging him with that. And that comes with the testimony of when others tried to leave, what would happen, abuse that you've seen. And that's why I typed in the chat, like, what, and maybe that's what she's getting ready to try to talk about is the time Malia tried to leave, running down the street. We've got Ela. Is that you? And is that you?
Hey, yes,
Hey,
Hey.
yes.
cousin.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
family.
Hey, mama.
Yes.
I love you guys. Hey, I just want to say thank you so much for doing what you're doing today. It's
Mm-hmm.
so important that not only do we spread awareness as concerned citizens, see how I did that, but also to make sure that we have an understanding that there are a lot of victims out here that don't go to the police immediately because number
Right.
one, they're afraid. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, they're afraid of the backlash. Number three, they don't feel that they will be believed.
Mm-hmm.
And I am the worst critic of Janae, but I understand.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll go on mute. Can I hang
No,
out up
you're
here
good.
for a
Stay up
minute?
here. Chill. We're wait. Yeah. Come on. Join the party. Get
Okay.
comfortable. Get
So,
comfortable.
I missed. I had a couple of phone calls in between, so I kind of missed. What did she actually say that made them take a recess like that quick?
Let's go
Like,
back
what
and
did she
listen because
say?
that's what I said too. I said she didn't even say anything crazy. Right around here. Look, they
Oh,
start
okay.
getting.
The last time you went
Oh.
back and when you were in a group late 2021, early 2022, did you observe violence within the group at that point?
Like the last time?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
And did you ever observe the defendant be physically violent with any of the women in the group?
Yes. I'm going to tell you about two of them that I remember. One of them being the most gruesome would be with who he deems to be his queen, which is Malia. She got an attitude or was just feeling down one day while we all were together. It was just me and the women and him, Alihio Bishop, in the bathroom. Um, sh Malia was naked, as we all, we don't have a problem with nudity in the cult.
So she was making. Hold on 1 second. Can you guys approach for a minute? Please, I'm sorry.
What?
So it was the judge? What was Bishop doing? Maybe Bishop was making things or maybe something because somebody kept coughing too. Oh, we're back. We're back. We're back.
Submitted order?
We submitted briefs and. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, you agree?
I think it needs to be tailored to this.
Well, yeah, that was my next question was,
Because I don't know.
use your mic.
I'm sorry. Has the court issued an order, has there been an order pertaining to the court's ruling on the 415, 44? Not that I think.
You didn't submit an order?
No.
We submitted briefs and Caroline had indicated that there would be an order forthcoming. I
Okay.
can submit an order, I wasn't asked for one, but.
Okay, well, I'm kind of in between staff attorneys, so that probably got lost and shuffled. My apologies for that. Okay, if you could submit a proposed order, I'm allowing them in. I think I said that at the hearing too. Did I?
You said it in email.
I did,
Yes,
okay.
It was communicated
all
to
right,
us,
yes.
there's just not a file order.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, let's get that order in place.
Who's trying to come in the court?
My wife said I don't know how to stop it.
Okay.
It's not.
Cameraman, we need you to do better. Do better.
No, hold.
Theater mode.
Y'all need me to rewind it real quick?
No. I think I get what it was. It seemed like what they're saying because in trial, in litigation, you have to have an order, a sequential order of questioning. And I think he may have went out of order in the questioning, so that might have paused it for a minute. So let's keep going. Keep going.
Apple Watch. But I can't help with that. I don't know. In order to prove its case in which counts pertaining to 1.3, do you have 1.34.10 in front of you? Okay, so in order to prove its case in,
Agreed.
you agree? Okay. Counts 1 and 2. Actually, is Mary, make me a quick copy, please, of, I think I just need, yeah, 21, 22, and pages 21, 22.
The reason I was asking about a order is the court had not, I guess, indicated what purpose it was in for,
Right.
what scope, and so that's kind of what I was hoping that we could see.
Yes, no, that's fair. Okay. All right, Mr. Coveney, can you provide that information, please? What is your see if I agree with what your purpose is.
Right, the state's purposes.
There you go, Godmama.
Intent and
Thank you.
motive. Primarily motive, but it was intent and motive were what were on the motion that we filed.
Okay. All right, counts 1 and 2. Intent and motive, so it would be, so it's not identity.
I
you guys
think,
approach
uh,
and help me figure out which, I want to make sure I get this right. Make sure
if you want to fast forward to the to present time because she had them approach, but I think the argument is basically what she's saying. Does it have to do with her crime? You know what she's accusing him of doing to her.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was saying earlier because the questioning has to be agreed upon,
Please hit.
uh,
I'm so
the
the
right
wrong
the
one. I'm
right
sorry, boo.
order.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm gathering.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my headset. Can y'all hear me?
I don't. Yeah, we can hear you, Lovey. I
Okay,
don't know
okay.
what the hell going on. I'm just here now. I don't know what's going on. I'm
Right. I'm
confused.
about to have to go
Yeah.
refill coffee because baby.
I'm confused. So whether
Yeah,
the
I think
question
what it
she
is
was
is
getting
that
ready to talk about, she was getting ready to talk about two instances in
two
particular that
incidents.
yeah that
Mm,
Yeah,
she saw or witnessed abuse. Like that is
exactly. And so,
that's very much relevant, but I guess they're saying that's too much. We don't need all that.
well, here's the thing. It is relevant. However, that's it's relevant to show the case of abuse. Number one, which she endured as well. Number two, but it's not relevant to her per se case, if
right.
that makes sense.
No,
So
perfect sense.
unfortunately, there what
Well, it
so
can
what
be held
what that
relevant. It can be relevant
it
if it's
can
showing a
be
pattern of holding people hostage or
Mm,
whatever
right.
during that
So,
abuse, not
but
letting the ladies leave.
what what I'm trying to say is that Bishop's lawyer is trying to throw a monkey wrench in that to make that an irrelevant instance, although it is relevant to the case because it shows proof of abuse and a pattern of abuse. He's trying to
right.
knock that question out. Like
Right.
that's really what it is. I get it.
Absolutely.
So okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. He's doing his ones twos as a good defense lawyer should. Because this
Right.
if she, if she's getting ready to talk about any of the instances with Malia, that's going to sway the jury because it's going to be very triggering. So, forewarning, if this is allowed, it's going to be
Yeah.
very, very triggering for a lot of people. And yesterday
Well.
during jury selection, we watched, and the questions they asked was, "Have you or
Mhm.
anyone been a victim of something like this?" And a lot of people said,
Yep.
"Yeah."
Exactly.
So
The other thing I
it's
want to say.
way a lot of people that are sitting over there in that box right now. Go ahead, sis.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize, sister. The other thing I want to say is it's going to be equally, if not more, triggering when Velvet. What the hell? They shut it down?
Hmm. Yeah,
No.
yeah, they did.
What the fuck?
Hmm.
Bro, somebody in the chat, can y'all go look and see if there's something else?
I'm looking
Another
right now, babe.
stream?
I'm looking.
Okay. So the other thing to say is that when Velvet gets on the stand, because she is a key witness as well, for the pattern of abuse.
Oh
So
yeah.
when she gets up
Oh.
there, that's going to be 10 times more triggering because I never can get the 4th of July out of my head.
Hmm.
Right.
I never can get that out of my head. So that's going to be very hard for a lot of people to hear. And, you know, as a defense attorney, you only have so many times that you can disrupt the court until you're
Hmm.
found in contempt of court. And that comes with time, especially down there.
Yeah.
So he might have to serve a 6 month sentence if he constantly contempts the court.
And
I'm
they
just
may
saying. I don't know everything, but I know some things.
have just cut for the sake of this portion of the testimony.
Mm,
Because they don't they feel like maybe it doesn't need to be aired. I don't know. You never
Right.
know with Judge Woodrick. She's very
mhm,
finicky about
Well,
cameras and streaming being in her
mhm.
courtroom.
I'm also listen now. All of them willing participants or not have been victimized in one way or another by this particular man, right? I really have a soft space for Syrian. Her experience is so horrible. I don't know if we'll be able to hear her actually speak it. So just be
mhm.
aware of that as well, because that is I had a nightmare about that. Like after hearing her pre-trial testimony. Uh,
We're not sure, Mama Global. They didn't take a recess. They interrupted Janae's testimony and then
they
muted up,
interrupted
and
it.
then she asked for them to approach the bench, and then they came back for a second and then ended the live stream. So, and I'm at the website. There's nothing so far. I don't see any other live that has started either.
So I don't
So,
understand why they would private it as it's supposed to be a live stream.
mhm,
Something is not right. Like I feel like a really heavy energy right now. So I don't
mhm,
understand why they would just private it. So
mhm,
something had to have happened. Like maybe
mhm.
he jumped up or Bishop might have jumped up and lunged. Something had to happen. No,
Not
I'm
lunch.
serious.
I know
I'm
you are.
just
Well, I
saying.
wish that's why I'm with Godmama. I wish they would, Nikki, is that you, my love? I wish they would have definitely, is that you, Miss Nikki?
Hey,
I
Nikki.
definitely wish they would have shown Bishop because somebody was back there coughing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, oh wait, oops, I'm sorry. I'm doing the background. I'm
I'm
back.
just waiting for.
Oh, we just wanted to
Hi,
make
Hey,
sure
Nikki. How
hi,
everybody.
you doing?
hi. I'm
Yeah.
okay. I was just waiting for a moment to say hello.
Oh, you're good. I just wanted to verify that it was you. Okay, thank you, Godmama. I'm back here doing the most. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Somebody's got.
I don't know how to work the background, y'all. Shout out to Godmama. She got our graphics together.
She
Okay.
over here acting a fool.
Oh,
I'm
we're
back here
acting
pushing
up.
it. Anywho, but no, this is
What's
Nikki
up,
says that
Nikki?
this isn't normal.
I
And
can't hear
I'm
a damn
just
thing.
oh, you can't hear us, Nikki? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Nikki,
She
can
may
you
have
hear
to
us?
go out and come back.
Yeah, there is a severe echo.
Yeah, you
It
might
is.
have to okay, you might have to refresh and
Drop
come
and
back in
come
again.
back.
Hold up. BRB.
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 Okay, I
This has
checked our
been
playback. We sound good. It's Nikki that sounds a little sketch. So
Okay.
yeah.
I checked the playback. We sound good.
She Well, this has been an emotional roller coaster thus far. I keep saying that, but ooh wee.
This is a lot. We're
Oh,
waiting,
and
madam.
thank you guys again for putting this on subscriber only.
Mhm,
Because I saw a couple of trolls and I'm like,
mhm,
damn, I don't have a wrench because I would zap their ass real quick. But
mhm.
thank you for putting it on subscriber only. That's a good
Well, I
good
want
good
people
deal.
to come in, and you know
Appreciate it.
how it is over here. I want people to come in and speak freely.
Yeah, I know.
And the least you could do is subscribe if you want to speak freely. Okay,
Mhm.
that's the least that you
We
could
Right.
attack ideas, not people. It's fine.
do.
It's
Hmm.
it's fine.
Okay,
But
Nikki's back, and Oshun says it was a woman coughing. I thought it was too, but I didn't know.
It
Hey.
sounded
Okay.
like a woman to
Yeah.
me. So.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. It was I had forgot to close YouTube after I opened the StreamYard link.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And let me hike your mic up a
Look,
little bit.
I'm running on fumes here. Y'all gotta have to give me
Yeah,
a little grace.
your mic is
Um,
kind of wonky.
Grace
mhm.
is given.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
better.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm. So you were
Yeah,
saying in the chat though, you were saying this
that's
isn't
not
normal, right?
no, that's not normal for a stream to end like that, especially
Yeah.
because it's a pool camera being broadcast by a news station. If, like, okay, say for example, I don't know if y'all are following Koberger, but Judge took control of the cameras in Idaho, and when he's done with his day, the stream is gone. But that's because he's controlling it. The court is controlling it. Like, he doesn't leave it up. We're adjourned, the stream is down, that's it. So you can't pause, you can't commentate, nothing. If it's
Right.
run by a pool camera, the court doesn't have control over it. The pool camera operator has control of it. The way that works is that basically the pool camera is not the news station. It's a camera. It goes out to a truck. All the other people who want the coverage have to like get permission from the person running the truck outside. Basically, that's how that works. So the news station doesn't is not like in sync with the judge. Like, oh, we're taking a break. They're gonna hear the judge say we're going off the record, etc. They're gonna mute the mics because that's the rules, and then they're gonna swing up to the state emblem, and that's what we're gonna look at until
Right.
they come back on the record. Something happened. This is absolutely not normal for the stream to go down like that,
I
especially if
agree.
nobody else has picked it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
before she was like, yeah, I said I would allow them in the courtroom. So I don't know who was trying to come in the courtroom and they weren't allowing to come in the courtroom. None
Because,
of that.
mind you, I was a half hour behind, yeah, so I wasn't.
Right.
I don't know what was happening as it went down. I was watching testimony and the stream went private.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was
Hey,
like,
I
oh, what happened?
wonder. I want to interject, if I may. I
Mm-hmm.
Of
wonder
course.
if there was like some sort of major disruption
Yeah, because the
within
bailiff can
either.
say cut it.
Right. So what I want to say is whether it was his tribe people, whatever the cult people that came into the courtroom and acted a donkey. By the way, if that is the case, and I'm just speculating here, but if that is the case, that helps us and the victims more than it helps him, because it's going to
Mm,
show the jury exactly who he is and how he controls those people.
Oh
Does
yeah,
that make sense?
nothing that disrupts the court at all is going to look good for him. It doesn't matter what it is.
Oh, exactly. Yes, and
Somebody
so
in
they shut it down.
somebody in the gallery using their phone is going to look bad for him. It doesn't matter. It's because
Absolutely.
sitting at that defense table, you're 50% convicted. That's just how that goes. And the way that he's
Absolutely.
reacting in court, the way he's that's not looking good for him either. But he literally he cannot help himself.
They sure can.
So may I ask? I have a question.
Yeah,
So
hold
may
on
I
real
ask?
quick. Yes, hold on real
Oh,
quick though. Yes, Stinson, they
okay.
shut down the whole live stream, put it on private. I
Yeah,
still
they put it on
have the
private.
screen in front of me. But I mean, I still have the screen in front of me, but yeah, it's shut down. They put that whole right
So
on private.
I have. Sorry.
Go ahead, baby.
So I do have a question in regards to that. So I'm thinking, well, just perception, not really a question, just my perception. Maybe he jumped up and said something and they had to pull him out, or the people in the gallery, in support of him, came in and caused a disruption that made everybody have to leave the room. So I'm
Was
assuming
there a
that
commotion?
do We don't know. They cut the cameras so quick, we couldn't hear anything. Janae
We'd
was in
have
the
to
middle
run
of her
back. Yeah,
testimony.
we'd have to play back my own live stream to get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because okay, so here's the
Is
thing: if it was Bishop causing a commotion, we would have seen something because that's the direction the cameras
right.
are facing. Anytime he lifts an arm, turns his head enough for the cameraman to catch it in his periphery, he's gonna turn. So we would have at least
Yeah.
caught a little bit. So what that tells me is it was something that we have no idea about, or if it was some sort of disruption, it was coming from the doors of the courtroom behind the cameraman, because if it was in front of him, he would have caught it with his periphery before the stream cut. However, if the bailiff says cut it, they can't hesitate. They have to do it immediately. What's interesting is that it went private.
Mhm.
Like you can't, normally it would just be like end of stream, timestamp.
Right. Yeah. To take it to a private space, I don't understand that. Hey,
504,
Tucker
check
or
Medea's. Yeah, check Medea's channel.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on
yeah.
Medea. I'm
Can
keeping an eye
somebody
on
check
her
Medea's?
channel.
Check
Yeah.
Medea's or the T's channel and see if there's something there.
Okay,
Yes,
504 says
I'm
Max.
keeping an eye on Medea's channel.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
Okay,
it
what
is
about
almost
the
lunchtime.
T?
That's this whole
Anybody?
thing is weird.
Yeah.
Well, but at lunch, it would be announced that it's lunchtime or break time, and then the stream would end. But
But it still wouldn't go private.
immediately. No, it would not go private. So that it makes no sense to me. I don't understand what happened. Something.
Does anybody know
My
why?
stomach.
Does anybody know why 11 Alive cut after 2 hours this morning? Did they lose permission? Like what that Rule 22 hearing this morning for that chick with the iPhone or whatever, did that ruling affect 11 Alive's pool camera?
It
I don't
shouldn't
think
because
so.
they're two separate entities. And 11 Alive.
No.
Hold on. Let me
That
finish
doesn't
my
matter though.
statement, please. No, listen to what I'm saying. Please let me finish my statement. What they said was media can be allowed, right? 11 Alive is a reputable channel, a news channel that airs in Georgia. Okay? That individual is a different type of source. I don't know where she came from. I don't know who it is. So
That was
if it
Medea.
was just that they said she can't, that doesn't mean 11 Alive can't. Because 11
No,
Alive is
the
an actual
ruling for
studio broadcast.
Right. The ruling for Medea
All right.
was it was because of she was trying to use her cell phone and not an
Uh-huh.
actual camera.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right, but
that
it's
was
depending on the language of the ruling, right? Which we talk about this all the time. It's all the language. One word can change everything. It's the difference of
Everything.
shall or may, right?
Yep.
And so I'm wondering, even though, like, I didn't, we don't know what the order says exactly. We don't have it in writing. She ruled from the bench. So I'm wondering if there is something in the language when she ruled on that cell phone person that prevented any, like, if she somehow languaged it so it's like, no, the person who's streaming, the outlets who are streaming now can stream, and that's it. Or you have to have this permission or whatever. That may have revoked 11 Alive's permission because they went down right after that.
Well, let me just say, Nikki, the judge did say specifically that it is allowed for the news media and journalism. However, the lady that came up in court earlier today only had a phone camera, iPhone camera, just like everybody else, right? So she's not considered as news media, really.
Yeah, she would have to get it from the truck outside like everybody else.
Exactly. So her being ousted in regards to providing that kind of media, social media, is way vastly different than actual media outlets. Like I have Channel 9, Channel 7, ABC News, whatever. that is a news media that's reputable, that is aired in people's homes every day. Her media, even though she's a journalist, I'm not discounting that, she is still not allowed because she is a social media journalist.
No, that's not why
There
she
is
wasn't
a
allowed.
serious, but I'm just saying, I'm just looking at it from the outside. So I'm
That's
just
not why
saying
she
there
wasn't
is a
allowed.
difference. It would, but it would not, okay, but hold on. It would not necessarily affect 11
Where are
alive.
they back
That's
at?
all I'm
Where are they
saying.
back
Go
at,
ahead,
Tracy?
Nikki.
Where? Hold
She
on,
wasn't
y'all.
a
Wait. Pause for the cause. Where are they back at, Tracy?
Hold on.
Where? On the website, on
Where?
YouTube? Because I'm looking right
oh,
now, baby.
full stop.
Drop me the link in the DM, please. If you have that link, thank you.
Okay, while you're doing that, two sentences. The only reason she wasn't allowed has nothing to do with her being a citizen journalist or social media or anything like that. It was purely 100% her method of recording.
Okay.
You can't have an iPhone out in court. That's it. The judge would have
Right.
let her hook up with the pool cameras outside. Like that. That is beyond the judge. The judge just didn't want an uncontrolled recording device in the courtroom. That's the only reason she wasn't allowed.
I agree, Nikki, and I honestly believe we are actually saying the exact same thing, but just differently. But yeah, I get you. That's right.
Yeah, because Judge Heydrich said, I can't have someone just standing up in my courtroom with a cell phone in their hand because I don't know if they're recording
Exactly. She
or
did say that.
Never
actually
mind.
doing it.
False news. False news.
Did you
Tracy
find
lied.
it?
It's false news. Tracy lied.
Oh no.
Oh,
I mean,
so it
she
is decline. Oh, well, send it to me. Who got it? Send it to my damn DMs. Is it false news or Tracy don't know what's going on? Hubby said he got it. Hubby, send
just
it to
send
my
it to
I
DM.
us.
believe
Somebody
honey.
send it to my
They
damn
Quan
DMs.
the Don. Go ahead, Quan.
We don't
Talking
care who got
about,
it. Somebody just give it.
talking about
Give
it's a
it
different
ass,
angle.
Nikki. You better tell it, girl.
God damn. Send it to the DMs, please and thank you.
Because everybody right now is on, Young Thug. And I don't really give two hells. But she gave
And
Fox
I was
5
at I
permission.
don't know which website they talking about because I was just at the 9/11 one and it wasn't on that website. So is it on Court TV?
You
Court TV is not doesn't have a pool camera.
and the
Yeah, so
one that I
I don't know.
sent you, it's like I can't even find that. I don't even know that
That
channel.
channel, I have it saved. That was the
Okay, hold
Atlanta
on. Let me do some
Fox
digging.
5.
I'll be right back. I'm going on.
uh, the
It
link you
was
sent
like
me,
an
Godmama, was from Atlanta News First.
Atlanta News First. Okay.
Was
We
that
got Fox 5, 11. It's Fox. Basically, Fox has a camera. That's it. That's what's
Mhm.
happening.
okay?
So
Let me
any
look at
Fox
the website.
subsidiary would.
Fox 5.
I don't have
Okay.
access to any of the documents, so I don't know who submitted a Rule 22 besides the chick with the cell phone. So I can't look to see who submitted for pool cameras under Rule 22 to go look for it. If somebody has all the documents, I can look through them and figure out who has pool cameras, but I don't have access to the documents. I would need the Rule 22 motions.
They're not back, making it seem like they're back, which they're not. So no, it's not back. Okay. It's a replay. Okay.
Yeah, I did a little snooping, and they're only talking about this fucking YL. Who is this young boy? I don't know who that is, but
That's Young Thug.
YSL Melly, man, that case is a mess. They were doing jury selection for over a year. The prosecutor got arrested. Somebody else got arrested. Like the whole thing is a cluster.
Oh Lord.
Just throw
well,
Fanny in the mix, and we got a whole circus.
maybe it was paused for a
Yeah,
continuation. I don't know. Do y'all think that? Could that be
I'm
it?
over here. I'm over here snooping on Max V. Shout out to Max V with the soothing
Yeah,
baritone
what
voice.
he's talking about.
He's not even on
I
the.
swear, I love his voice.
They're not even back. He don't even have the stream pulled either. So yeah,
Mm-mm.
everybody's kind of just
Okay.
like we've been since
I was trying to see. Oh,
day,
here, wait. Scott is live.
hour
Okay.
1, minute 1, second 1, just hurry up and wait kind of thing. But shout out to all of y'all sticking around, hanging around, because y'all could be anywhere but you here in the suspense with us. And we
I'd
appreciate it.
rather be here than anywhere else, honey, because I can stay in my
Yo,
house.
Lady Still's been cracking me up about that damn jacket, and I just went over to Oshun's community wall. She got a picture of it.
Why that motherfucker? Why he look like nice like this? I wish raindrops would
Oh,
fall. Oh.
she said, did he get it from Gagu? Did he get that jacket from Gagu? Okay,
Nah, that
ma'am.
motherfucker got that jacket from the 5 Heartbeats. He better go ahead on with that
Oh,
shit.
Lady Still
Hey,
went
wait,
and
wait,
said,
just
see,
Five
let's look
Heartbeats.
at him.
convicted with involuntary.
Uh-oh.
What's popping?
Oh, sorry.
That's Crayon
Sorry,
saying,
sorry, sorry. Yeah.
you're
No,
fine.
I went to my court camera guys to see if he was live. I put a question in his chat.
Ooh.
Recovery Addict runs a lot of court feeds, so but he's got like
Wait, did
1,500
y'all?
people in his chat.
Mm,
I'm sorry, Nikki. Did y'all see what
damn.
504 said?
No, ma'am.
No, I'm not in that
Go
chat.
look in the chat. No, I'm saying in our chat.
Yeah,
Look
I'm
at
not
what
in there.
504 just said.
Oh, wait, hold on, I'm not over there. She said,
Right? Nobody's
somebody
looking
in
at the
another
chat.
screen is saying they trying to declare a mistrial. Be right back listening. Okay, 504. And then, yeah. Okay, Queen, sister, go
God, Mama,
get
are
that.
we really gonna have to make this drive? Because I'm not doing this every day.
Right? This is a lot. I saw Nick at Night was streaming something, but it's
GoFundMe for me and Godmama to get to court and spend the week down there.
well, Kiss is talking about she wants to do an Airbnb. Y'all, I would, but my son has he might have some stuff he needs to do. This is his senior year and he's got a lot of stuff on his plate.
I
So
totally
I
would,
didn't
but
know
my
the
dad is
trial was
having
gonna
knee replacement surgery. So
I didn't know the trial was gonna go like this fast. Like boom, they're talking about we want to wrap it
yeah.
up in the next 2 weeks. Like, wait, hold on.
All
So he's got
right,
some
Nick
prior
at night is
engagement.
streaming.
She's streaming something. I saw that, but it looked like she had kind of rewound it a little bit on YouTube. Nick at Night.
Oh,
She's
okay.
streaming, but is that right now? Is
Hey,
Nick at Night?
Kenny.
Is she? I can't replay Nick at Night stuff, but I did see she was
No.
live. But I thought it was she had rewound it a little bit. It didn't look like
Mm.
it was live right now. Let me go back. Because I saw that. And I don't. Why would Nick at Night have something we don't? That would be weird. Oh, hers is paused too. Hers is closed down. So yeah, she had just rewound it a little bit. Okay, she ain't got nothing
All
we
right,
don't.
so everybody is shut down
Yeah,
right now.
everybody. Yeah, I just went and looked. Hey, what's that? Hi,
Damn,
Kenny. Long time no see.
Kenny.
How you doing, baby?
That's my
Tainted's
boo,
in the
honey.
building. Hey,
Hey,
Tainted.
Tainted. Oh my goodness. I miss y'all. I ain't been around
Mm.
in a while.
Knee surgery is no joke.
No,
She
it's
said they just
not.
broke for lunch. Is that all it was? Okay. She said they just broke for lunch. And Nikki, I guess, dropped down. Okay, well, if they broke for lunch, I want to break for lunch too. Shoot.
All right, so are
Sounds
you
like
gonna
for
pause
lunch.
it, or are you gonna restart it, or what are we doing?
Yeah, let's check Medea. Yeah, okay, we did that. Boop boop. Hold on, I'm going through these comments real quick, make sure I didn't miss
I
it. The
mean,
judge
we
is
can just
going
keep
to look
it.
at the transcripts to see about her. Okay.
Ruling. Uh-oh.
It's
Give
okay,
this
Nikki.
motherfucker 80 years. Shit.
Show out to Tainted. I haven't seen Tainted in a while.
Shout out to Tainted.
We can keep this split stream
Oh, Nikki.
going and
Okay,
take
yeah, we can keep
take
it
a
going, but
break.
I definitely
Yeah, most
I need to take
definitely. If
a
you
little
gotta
break.
get up, move around.
Yes, I need to stretch my
Um,
legs.
yes.
All right, I'll holler at y'all. Love you. Bye.
Okay,
Love
love you.
you. Thank you for coming up.
Um,
Yeah, and we'll just take whatever. Give a little music. We don't have to stay the entire time. Um, if you are in the chat and you want to leave, take a break yourself, but you don't want to miss a notification, we will post on the community wall when we're back. So just keep an eye on that. Usually, lunch they do an hour for lunch. So we'll be back in about probably 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, closer to 1, and go from there. And hopefully we can get this feed pulled back up. And yeah, it's about lunchtime, so we'll be back. I'll be back. She'll
we'll
be
be
back.
back.
And
Okay.
the link is pinned. If you want to hit the link and chat it up, you're more than welcome. Till we come back, just if you're back there and no one has let you up, just be patient because both of us may be away from our devices. Thank you. So you hear from the horse's mouth. I think Neek at Night did her big one and got her Rule 22 for, I guess, media coverage on the internet. But I wonder whose camera she's tapping into. So she's definitely the plug. Lurker dropped the link for the next live. So everyone that is in here, that link that has just been dropped is for us switching over to another live for whenever the feed does pop back up. We'll be right there, and we'll give y'all a visual. That way, if again copyright issues, so we don't lose our hard work for the day. Amen. Shout out to Nika Knight again. Shout out to her with all the fives up at the top.
All right, we're ready to go. Hey y'all.
Boom.
You see it up?
504 says I called the court office and they said nobody is supposed to show it. I don't even know where Neek is even getting her. She said, you just heard her say she had a correspondence. So, all right, she has a correspondence. Can't even be mad at
Nobody
it.
is supposed to show it.
Huh?
Child, we got backup accounts ready to go. What's up? Y'all
Okay.
know better than that. Y'all know better than that. Fuck out of here. Okay, well, our StreamYard is ready to go. We will come back and
Alright.
edit out quite a bit of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on private for just a little bit, guys. It shouldn't take me too long to edit. I mean, I won't put it on private right away, but it will go on private while I edit it. Okay, so we're ready on the other one. God mama, if you want to hop up on out of here. Y'all, the link is in the chat. Go over there. I'm about to hit live right over there. Thank y'all for coming through. Ooh, I am gonna play an outro. Just to stay on brand, because like I said, I will be editing this down. The link is in the chat. We will see y'all here in just a few seconds. Peace.